Series up at the Ravine with a magic number at 1 to get in the playoffs. But are bigger goals possible? A preview of the series and a postseason scenario breakdown all coming now from Jon and Jim.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. Great show on what hopefully is a pretty special night for the Padres. We shall see. Jim just laid it out for you. They can take care of their own business, which is much preferred. It's like when you graduate high school, you don't want to get by with like a D. I mean, I guess you do.
Well,
whatever. As long as, whatever.
Getting by with C's, man. C's get degrees.
That is true. But you want to make sure to pass your last test on your way to a degree. Same thing here for the Padres. They would much prefer to win their way in. It doesn't take away from the season. The season has been special. Mike Farron, MLB Network Radio, is terrific on all things NL West. He'll join us at 3:30. Marty Caswell is at Dodger Stadium at this hour. She will join us in the 5 p.m. hour. Will Brinson, our football insider, brought to you by Hamul, will join us at 4 p.m. But Jim just laid it out for you. Here's the scenario. Beat the Dodgers. You're in the postseason. You're still alive for the National League West. I mean, we haven't said that in forever. Padres alive for the National League West in the final week of the regular season. Or you can get into the postseason tonight. You'll need two events to occur. You'll need the Diamondbacks to win tonight. They don't play until later. They're at home. So they're playing at 6:40 tonight. You would also need a Mets win. So those are the two paths to a postseason berth. You and I stand by this. Now, they celebrated in 2022 off a loss.
They did.
And it was still a great celebration.
Yeah.
And I still think they celebrate even if they lose.
Really?
Tonight, I do. Because they did in 2022. There's precedent. And I go back to that Mets team that didn't celebrate in 2022 and never celebrated. They clinched a spot, didn't celebrate. They were hoping to win the division. They didn't. They then lost to the Padres in the first round. I think they celebrate tonight, win or lose, but I don't want it to be win or lose. I want them to just win.
No, what is set up now is exactly what I wanted to happen, which is they go out, they win tonight, they celebrate off that win.
Mm-hmm.
I was very worried just from like a logistic standpoint and how everything is set up that they would know before the game if they're in or not.
That can't happen.
But that can't happen now, which is good. Like they need two things to happen, and one of them is happening simultaneously with them playing the Dodgers tonight, which is the D-backs taking on the Giants. So I think it's a great setup where you don't really have to really worry about anybody else. You know, you don't have to scoreboard watch.
Sure.
Everything for the Padres is set up in their favor. It's set up for them to go out and just worry about themselves. And they go out and they win tonight, boom, you clinched, you celebrate at Dodger Stadium, you're all good to go, and you're one step closer to, pulling off a feat here that none of us truly really thought could be a reality at the start of the season. I don't care how big of a diehard you are. I don't think any Padres fan was going into the season saying, absolutely, we're going to compete with the Dodgers in the NL West.
Right. A year ago.
Maybe a couple, but still.
No. Okay. Didn't they finish 28 games
they
out?
Did, yeah.
You would have been blindly foolish to think coming into the year the Dodgers could spend $1 billion in free agency. They would add Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto, Teoscar Hernandez, and you would trade Juan Soto. But let me tell you why we're going to win the division. Give me a break.
3 back with 6 to play.
Now, 3 back with 6 to play is an amazing accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
Padres have not been at Dodger Stadium because of the new unbalanced schedule, universal schedule. They haven't been there since April 14th. Now, that was also the series that, in my opinion, catapulted Jurickson Profar into the season that he's had. This was the Mr. Irrelevant Will Smith series. They took 2 of 3 with a couple of really impressive wins at Dodger Stadium. Now, Dodgers have the best record still in the National League. This isn't like going to be easy, even to win 2 out of 3 or even a win tonight with Michael King on the mound. But with that being said, if there's a team that's been able to solve LA, it's the Padres, which is amazing to say in itself. The Padres have not won a season series from the Dodgers before this year since 2010, but they played the Dodgers really well. So I'll take my chances here. Again, do I know that a sweep is asking for a lot? Of course a sweep is asking for a lot. I'm not asking for a sweep tonight. I'm asking for a win behind Michael King tonight. That's all that I want to see from the Padres.
And it's great because in this series, everything is set up from a Padres standpoint, how you want it. King goes tonight, Cease goes tomorrow, Musgrove goes on Thursday. Or no, Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Dodgers also have Flaherty going tomorrow. They have Buehler going on Thursday. And they have this guy tonight, Landon Knack, who I've never heard of before. But he's a guy that looks like he could be in the rotation come playoff time.
He's been good.
He has been pretty good for them. So this is from both standpoints, from both teams. You're throwing out the A team. You are going toe-to-toe. Both teams are playing for something, which is, I mean, it hasn't happened in forever at this point of the season. It's excluding the playoffs, right? Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But in the regular season, both teams at the end of the year fighting for a National League West division. Like you couldn't ask for anything more, honestly.
If nothing else, go win 2 out of 3, celebrate at Dodger Stadium, and prevent the Dodgers from celebrating the division. You can do that by winning 2 out of 3. Because if you win 2 out of 3, you're 2 back with 3 to play. Is that incredibly likely that you win the division? Probably not, but you do have the tiebreaker. But if you go out and lose 2 out of 3, Dodgers are celebrating right in front of you, right there at Dodger Stadium. Now, you might be celebrating 2 at some point over the next 3 days as well, depending on if you get a win or how the results shake out. But the ideal scenario is the ideal scenario is a sweep, but the ideal scenario is 2 out of 3 or more. You're clinching on their field at Dodger Stadium, and you're preventing them from clinching during the series against you. So that to me, at the onset is the goal. I think you take 2 out of 3, Jim. You at least give yourself a chance to still win this division. And of course, 3 out of 3, you're the favorite to win this division. You would have the tiebreaker heading into the final series of the year.
And there's a couple other things too. Like right now, the National League wild card picture, Padres have a 3-game lead on the Mets. The Mets have catapulted to the 5 seed.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks, with the loss yesterday to the red hot Giants, are in the 6th seed. They're a game and a half up on Atlanta. So if you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone here by, I mean, if you take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers, okay, that's great. It's not that helpful for a division because you'll still be
2 back
with 3 to play. You need a lot to happen there, and you need the Dodgers to go to Colorado and
lose at least 2
times. But the consolation of that is you could lock up potentially the 4 seed by Friday, right?
You could. So you said they're how many games better than Arizona right now?
They're 3.5 better than Arizona, but Arizona's the 6th seed now. The Mets are the 5 seed, and you're 3 up on the Mets.
I was at 3.5 on Arizona. There's only 6 days left in the season. How many games is Arizona still to play? 5? How many? What's Arizona's record?
87-70.
So they have 5 games left.
They have an off.
Oh, they're
day.
off Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
So they have 70 losses. And how many losses do the Padres have?
Padres have 66. So they're 4 up on the loss column.
Yeah, 4 up in the loss. You're right. You could get to Friday basically by winning 2 of 3. You'd have 67 losses. No, then they could still get to 7. They could still sweep you.
Okay.
If they win the next 2 days.
That's why we're getting ahead of ourselves. I can't do the math.
But here's what's going to happen. You're 3 games up on the 5 seed, and you're 3.5 up on the 6 seed. Yeah. You should be locked into the 4, barring an awful road trip. I mean, barring a 1-5 trip, you're basically locking yourself into that 4 seed. That's first and foremost. First things first, lock up the 4.
Correct.
From there, win the next. I mean, listen, I feel like the Dodgers are probably already feeling pressure heading into the series. But if you win tonight, they're really feeling pressure. Yeah. If you win tomorrow, they're really, really feeling pressure. And then at that point, to me, the Padres become the favorite in the division if they can win the next 2 games.
See, tonight is so important from like what you just said. If you win tonight, you put all the pressure on the Dodgers because they're going to have to go out tomorrow against Dylan Cease. And yes, they have Ryan Flaherty pitching for them, but they're going to have a lot of pressure tomorrow to pick up a win if you win tonight. Tonight is so vital from a standpoint of the division and also just clinching a playoff spot and putting the pressure on the Dodgers. Like you lose tonight, it's not gonna feel like the Dodgers have this much pressure on them because they'll be 4 up with 5 to play, and
they'll be in control.
And they'll be in total control. You win tonight, then you put all the pressure on the Dodgers here to have to go out and play some good baseball, and that's why tonight to me is so important.
Now I don't know how much a factor it is or not, but I don't even know if the Dodgers have been swept at home this year. They're 50-28.
Yeah,
it's the second best home record in baseball. to Philadelphia. Now, you might say, okay, Padres are really good on the road. They are. I think they have the best road record.
45 and 30. Yeah.
So, okay, strength on strength. But to go to Dodger Stadium and expect a sweep is probably expecting a lot. But to go there and expect a chance to take a series or to clinch by winning tonight is not expecting too much. I mean, the way the Padres are playing right now, winners of 4 straight, 40-16 in their last 56 games, a winning percentage over 700, that going there expecting to win a series, they should expect to win the series. All they do in the second half is win series. I think I have this right. I think they've lost 2 series.
They're 14-2-3 in the second half.
They've lost 2 series, and this is why people around baseball are saying the Padres may, in fact, be the most dangerous team out there because they just don't lose series.
They just don't. They are a freight train right now. They're playing the best of anybody in the National League. The Diamondbacks have definitely cooled off. I think the Mets are considered the second hottest team in the National League right now when you look at it. And so from that standpoint, that's why the Padres, to me, are the scariest team in the National League. And I think the Dodgers should view them as such. Like, if you're the Dodgers, if we're doing Dodger radio today, I would hope that they would be saying you can't take the Padres lightly. They're not the little happy-go-lucky team from San Diego anymore. Like, they're a real threat here against you, and you have to take it as such. And going into this series, if you're the Padres, you have to feel like, one, we've played this team really good this year. We're not scared of the Dodgers anymore. And we're going in here with the mindset of we want to win the division. So, yeah, Dodgers should be scared. Padres should feel pretty good about themselves and just take it one game at a time in this series. You win tonight, the pressure is all on LA.
I don't, if I was seriously, Jim, if I was doing a Dodgers show, if I was in LA doing this show that was the complete opposite show of this,
right,
I wouldn't say that the Dodgers should be scared.
Why?
3 up. Because it's not, because I think if it was 1 up, then it's like you lose a series and you're tied. I think if you're 3 up with 6 to play, I mean, we have to be honest with each other. We've been saying it. I don't think it's likely that the Padres win the division. I think it's possible.
I was talking from a standpoint of having to get through the Padres to make the World Series.
Oh, to make the World Series? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, listen, they should be scared heading into the postseason because they don't win in the postseason.
I mean, I get it from the division
standpoint. I wouldn't be overly scared. I mean, again, I'd be aware of it, but I'm not expecting. If I'm a Dodger fan, I'm not going into the series being like, we're about to get swept at home by the Padres. That wouldn't be my mentality.
But the mentality shouldn't be like it has been in the past, where the Dodgers just steamroll over the Padres at all costs. Take away the 2022 postseason.
Sure.
But that the Padres in Dodger series is very one-sided towards the Dodgers. I don't think a Dodgers fan should think that right now. I really don't.
No, and I don't think they are. And truthfully, it doesn't even matter what their fans are thinking. I mean, Dave Roberts told Dan Patrick the best team we've played this year is the San Diego Padres. They're aware of how good the Padres have played the Dodgers this year. All right. Remember, Andy Green had a premonition. We're going back close to a decade now.
The prophecy is almost fulfilled.
I mean, it was fulfilled in 2022. Can it be fulfilled again here in 2024? If you don't recall it, or if you haven't heard it in a while, you'll hear from Andy Green on the other side. Plus, Mike Farron, MLB Network Radio, will join us at 3:30. We have great giveaways today, including Green Day tickets for Saturday night at Petco Park. We're here until 6 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. All right, starting next Monday, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the inflation vacation. Listen for the nationwide keyword at the top of every hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then enter at sportsst.com. It all starts next Monday at 6 a.m. Mike Fair and MLB Network Radio. He is going to have some thoughts. Like, my question for Mike is, who does he today believe has the best chance to make the deepest playoff run in the NL West? Is it the Dodgers?
And why is it the Padres?
Right, and I think he may say the Padres,
think
but
so.
I'm not certain, truthfully. And he'll have a reason for why he answers the way he answers.
Do you feel like come postseason time, if the Padres finish out strong here, say they don't win the division, but they finish out strong, they finish with, say, 94 wins, 4-2 on this road trip.
That'd be 93 wins, but yeah. Does they have 90 wins now or 90? Okay,
90.
that'd be 94.
That'd be 94, John. Don't you feel like they're like the trendy pick in the National League?
They're definitely the trendy pick in the National League, assuming, to your point, they go 4-2 or better. I think if they go 2-4 or something like that, maybe that changes things. Like if the Dodgers win a series from them and Arizona wins a series from them, maybe
and
that
somehow
changes.
they fall to the 5, which I don't see happening.
Even at the 4,
but
if you lose back-to-back series to the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, again, they still may be a sexy pick, but I don't know if they'll be the only sexy pick.
Because right now, everywhere that I turn on MLB Network or wherever that's talking baseball, it feels like the Padres are the trendy pick right now.
And guess what?
What?
It means nothing.
It does mean nothing.
It truly means nothing. And what's the Nick Saban line? It's rat poison. When you start listening to others tell you how good you are, when you get to that level, college football, professional sports, you're asking for trouble. Now, to the Padres' credit, that has not gotten to them at any point in the second half. They played brilliant baseball.
Right.
But when I hear, me and you and pundits and whomever say, hey, the Padres are the best team in baseball, I honestly, to me, you got to separate yourself, if you're in the clubhouse, from all of that. You have to avoid that at all costs, and you got to keep it all internal because it doesn't matter what Stephen A. Smith says.
And I think they do a good job of that. I really do.
I hope so. They have so far.
Yeah, I think how they've operated is they have created this belief and this culture of confidence that they can play against anybody, they can win against anybody, and anytime they go out there, they're going to find a way to win. And that's the best quality to have heading into a postseason. That I've said this before. They have gone through literally this year every single type of scenario in a game and come out on the other side with the W. Like, name me a scenario that they've not had.
Sure. Big deficits, late deficits. They've done it in all facets.
Every type of one-run games, extra inning games, trail by 8, trail by 5.
True. And they've won it by and large. You see what I'm saying? Like they've come out on the right side more often than not. For example, their one-run record, I don't know what it is, but it's good.
Yeah, they're not going to win every single game.
Right. You got to remember that too. It's like, they came back from 8-0 down on the Cubs. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go down 8-0 tonight, nor do I want to go down 8-0 a week from tonight.
No, but how many times did they come back from 5-0?
A few, 3 or 4. But again, I go back to like that. To me, is a recipe asking for trouble. If you go down 5-0 in a postseason game, I know they've been there before. And I'll be honest with you, I think if you're down 2-1 in the 8th inning in game 1 of the wild card, I hope they prove me wrong. I don't want to see that scenario play out.
Trust me, nobody wants to see that scenario.
What I mean? But I'm saying, just because they've done it in the regular season, you know as well as I do.
I do.
Once you get to the postseason, all bets are off.
I know. But if that scenario did happen in a postseason game, or even tonight,
can overcome it.
It's not, to me, like, oh my God, end of the world, like Doomsday, DEFCON 1.
I agree with that. I do agree with that.
And I don't feel like they feel the same way either. I think they feel still confident that they can find a way to come back.
From a late deficit, yes. From 5 runs, I don't want to see it. Well, I don't want to tempt it.
Nobody wants to see that, John.
Because if you're not, I know what text I'm going to get from you if they're down 5-0 in game 1 of the wild card round, which is fun season.
I'm going to watch Avatar 3.
In fact, when it's 2-0, you're going to send out a tweet saying "fun year."
John, when a base runner gets to third base,
that's what you're
season's over.
All right, let's hear from Andy Green, who had a premonition this day was coming. Right, Padres trying to catch the Dodgers, where they finished in the division 30 games out, and 28 games out, and 26 games out. This was Andy Green nearly a decade ago. You're going back like 8 years ago when Andy Green said this.
Like, we got a long way to go. And right now it's about winning series against them. Pretty soon it's going to be about winning seasons against them. And we're not going to yield. We're not going to just stop because they want to intimidate us on the mound screaming at our base runner. Like, no, we're not going to stop. We're going to keep coming. And at some point in time, like, it's not right now. Like, somebody be lying if it says we're going to overcome a 20-game deficit and overtake the National League West this year. No, we're trying to win a series right now. We're trying to teach you guys how to play the game the right way every single day. And then we're coming. We're coming with the kind of team that's going to start winning seasons and not just series. And that's what it's all about. Like, that's the story to me. And it's like, at some point in time, like, those moments on the field, they're not the important thing. The important thing for us is, like, how do we get over the next hump to get closer to beating them on a consistent basis and not just an occasional basis?
Yes, Andy Green.
It's happened this year consistently. Are they 8-3 or 7-3?
They're 8-3.
I think they might be 7.
Might be 7-3.
Does anyone know? I mean, it's so easy to look up.
It's so easy, and I'm gonna make it really hard for me to look this up right now.
I have it right here.
What is it? 7 or 8?
I'm gonna tell you.
I thought it was 8.
They are 7-3 against the Dodgers.
Just kidding.
7-3. I was going to say 14 games a lot against opponent. I think Max is now 13.
Well, they're about to be 8-3 after tonight.
Right. So no matter what, they've won it. No matter what, they've won the season series.
Yeah.
No matter what. Yeah. I mean, no matter what, they've won the season series, and they likely need to win the next 3 to win the division. You and I agree on that. They likely need to win the next 3 to win the division.
And as you said, the likelihood of the Dodgers getting swept at home.
I mean, it's not impossible.
No.
It's not impossible. I know I'm not going into it saying all my hopes are in a sweep, and if they don't get the sweep, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go again. That's not how it's playing out. Mm-hmm. If the Padres go there and win this series, that's a good series. I'm sorry.
When's the last time the Padres swept the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium?
They've done it a couple of times. I want to say there was you know what? There was that 4-game series going into the break in 2019. They took the last 3.
Correct. 2021. They played really well against them early
in the first half. They were great against them. Weren't they 8-1 in their first 9 games?
Remember that game on Sunday Night Baseball? They came back. Tatis had that monster series against Bauer and Kershaw.
So I think they have done it at some point in the last 3 or 4 years. Does that go back to 2021 first half? Maybe.
I can't definitively remember the time that they swept the Dodgers, but I know they have taken series up there, 3 or 4, 2 or 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year. I just don't know if it's a sweep has happened yet. But hey, you win the game. You win the first game tonight.
You need 2 more.
You need 2. Well, duh. But you put the pressure on the Dodgers, and that would be a really cool thing if that happened.
By the way, Mike Farron will join us momentarily, and I'm looking right here just quickly. I don't believe the Dodgers this year have been swept at home. They are 50-28, second best home record in baseball. Mike Farron, MLB Network Radio, joins us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Lexus El Cajon. Bring luxury home. Padres, Dodgers start a 3-game series tonight at Dodgers Stadium. The Padres 3 games behind the Dodgers in the National League West. 7:10 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres against Landon Knack for the Dodgers. Padres, they can clinch a playoff spot tonight by just beating the Dodgers. They can also clinch a playoff spot if the Mets and the D-backs both win today as well. Experience true luxury from the newly remodeled Lexus El Cajon showroom. You'll get a great deal with autumn savings on any new or pre-owned Lexus in stock. See for yourself why they're ranked number 1. For customer service, visit LexusElCajon.com. Bring luxury home from Lexus El Cajon.
All right, let's get Mike Farnell, Be Network Radio, in here. He's been with us over the course of the last couple of years on Jon and Jim. We always appreciate his time, great insight on all things baseball, including this NL West. What a year it's been in the West with the Padres and the Dodgers and the D-backs. And, Mike, we're down to the final week now in the regular season. Let's just start with those 3 teams. We've talked about them all year long with you. Who do you feel most confident in right now among that group of 3? And thanks, as always, for joining us in San Diego.
Wow, it's always my pleasure. That's a great question. Who do I feel most confident in? I mean, I think they're all really good teams. The Dodgers pitching gives me a little bit of pause, but they're going to run 3 Hall of Famers out at the top of the lineup, and I don't know how you deal with that. The Padres are a pretty complete team, and I really like what they did with the bullpen. And, I know you were just talking during the update about Michael King, and really since the middle of May. I mean, he's had like 1 bad start in 4 months, right? Like he gave 6 runs in a start in May, and since then he's just been dominant. So I think the Padres pitching's in pretty good shape. I think the fact that Nando swung the bat the way he has makes him, really dangerous. It's kind of weird to me that the Diamondbacks, as well as they played for 3 months, are kind of on the fringe, right? They're a game and a half ahead of Atlanta. They need to beat San Francisco, obviously, the next couple of days, but need some help from the Mets. I think that's a really good Diamondbacks team. I think they're way better than they were a year ago when they won the pennant. But I think if you had to say which one do you pick right now, I'd probably say the Padres. I just think it's, this team's going to end up winning like 93 games or more this year. It's the most wins they've had since 2010. It's a really talented squad. I would feel a little bit better if Ha-Seong Kim were healthy, just because he's a significantly better defender at shortstop than Bogarts is. But, man, they're going to be a handful in the playoffs.
From the other side of it, Mike, who do you think can give the Padres the most trouble in the postseason? From the National League standpoint.
It's a real tough one for me, because I think, this is a rare year, at least what we've seen in the last several for the National League, in that I think all 7 teams that are in the mix are pretty good. I think Atlanta's maybe the weakest, just because the back half of their lineup, they've been beset by injuries. And, Ozzie Albies can only hit right-handed, which, he's hitting right-handed for the first time against right-handed pitching, which is kind of a tough task to do in the middle of a pennant race. They don't have Austin Riley. Obviously, they've been without Acuna for most of the year. I hate to give you a cop out, but it's pretty balanced. The Phillies are probably the best team overall on paper. They have 4 legitimate starters. Their bullpen is really deep. They have an experienced and very good lineup. Obviously, they've been to the Final Four the last 2 years. We're into the World Series 2 years ago. And so I think it's probably the Phillies. This is fun because we're actually going to try and do a little bit of a ranked choice in both leagues next week. Mm-hmm. And so it helps me to try and think through it. But, it's probably Phillies 1, but narrowly over San Diego, I would say.
Mike Farnell, MLB Network Radio, with us right now on Jon and Jim. Now, you've spoken kind of eloquently on this with us, where you're like, listen, the margins in baseball and series are nothing like a series if it was like the NFL or certainly the NBA, where good beats bad by and large in the NBA, or good beats, better beats worse in the NBA, more so than Major League Baseball. So the value of the bye is significant, right? Even though in the 2 years of this format, I think one of the 4 World Series teams had the bye. They won the World Series, Houston, 2 years ago. The other 3 World Series teams came out of the wild card round. So how do you value the bye heading into the postseason?
Well, I think, I'll keep it as simple as I can. you have one less chance to lose.
Exactly.
If you're on the bye, right? Because you don't have to play in that wild card round. And so I think it's important. You're right. There's only one team that's made it to the World Series, but they won the World Series. And, we've seen other teams that have had that bye win rounds. And we've seen some of them perform pretty well. Everybody kind of complains about what happened with Atlanta, but Atlanta didn't really have a healthy Spencer Strider down the stretch either year.
Sure. And
he was coming back at the end of the season. And maybe that's why he wasn't as effective in the postseason. I don't think it had anything to do with the layoff, and they ran into the Phillies, and the Phillies are good. I mean, you saw the Phillies in the LCS 2 years ago. They're a good team. Mm-hmm. So I think the bye is beneficial because it's you don't have to go through the wild card round. You can set your rotation up the way that you want to. I think there's way better ways than there were when the Rockies lost in the World Series to the Red Sox in 2007. With a huge layoff for teams. Teams are way smarter about training at game speed, and I think that helps to eliminate some of the issues that there are in terms of trying to get timing down as a hitter. I just really think you want the bye if you can, and that's what's so interesting about this week is, the Padres probably have to sweep the Dodgers, but they've already got the tiebreaker with them, right? And so if they find a way to win the division, I think it's a really, really good sign for the Padres. Not to mention it gives them 5 extra days to hope that Kim turns a corner.
Yeah, and if they win the division, they will need to close hot here against the Dodgers and the D-backs, and then also the Dodgers play the Rockies, so that will be tough there to have the Rockies beat.
Yeah, but I'll say this. That Rockies team has played pretty well here over the course of the last month. They played pretty well against good teams. They did against the Dodgers this weekend, too, and their bullpen, despite the blown save on Sunday, has been much better. Mm-hmm. But, the last thing you want to do is have to play must-win games at Coors, right? Doesn't that just scare the hell out of you?
Yeah, it does. Because anything can happen. I'm glad the Padres aren't there because that is a house of horrors for that team. Mike, I want to talk about just take a little left turn here and talk about Jackson Merrill, Paul Skeens. We're pretty close to the end of the season here. I don't know if Paul Skeens is going to make one more start, but he's had a fantastic year. Jackson Merrill's had a fantastic year. How would you rank that out as far as rookie of the year goes, since we're so close to the end here?
Yeah, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask at this because I really don't look at this as binary. Mm-hmm. I would have no problem with either of these guys winning the award. I think they're both super deserving. They've had great years. If it were me and I had a vote, unfortunately I don't, because I don't think anybody should. What's the old Groucho line about wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me as part of it, right? If I had a vote, I would probably go with Merrill because he's been there the entire season. I think he certainly deserves it. The thing is Jackson Churrio's last 4 months have been great for Milwaukee too. Right. And he's not that far off from what Merrill has done too. So, it's always tough to balance the pitching versus hitting. And Skeens has obviously been a huge part of the story when starting the All-Star game at a sub-2 ERA and 22 starts. And he has been up for 2/3 of the season. It's not like this is just a 6-week wonder. So I think I would go with Merrill, but just kind of from a bigger picture thing, it's a really loaded rookie class in the National League, right? We're talking about these guys, and we're not talking about Shota Ebenaga, who was an all-star, who was amazing, and Michael Busch with the Cubs, who has 20 homers as a first baseman, and Mason Wynn, who's played a tremendous shortstop for the Cardinals, right? This is a really loaded rookie class in the National League, and I think I didn't get a chance to read the article. I saw the headline. Fangraphs wrote about it today and talking about there's 10 rookies in the National League that are going to be just like them's the breaks. They're not going to be just top 3 for that award, even though they've had seasons that in most years would put you in contention at the very top.
They should all be co-rookies of the year. They should have 10 award winners. I'm kidding. Mike Farron, MLB Network Radio, with us right now on Jon and Jim. More credit for the Padres' success, Mike Schilder or AJ Preller?
I think, that's a good one. For my first and foremost, I would say it's on the players, right? The players have succeeded.
Oh, them too.
Overall, that's where I would put most of the success, really. But listen, I think there's a different level of accountability. There's a different vibe. I think Preller has built a much more complete roster. I think we talked about that earlier this summer, right? This is a way more functional roster than we've seen in years past. And I think Schilt deserves a lot of credit. I'm a big Mike Schilt guy. I love Mike. I like, Mike never played pro ball, right? Like he was a high school coach and became an associate scout. He's obsessed with baseball, and he's obsessed with, doing the little things, right? He came up in the Cardinals organization and was kind of the keeper of the Cardinals way in a lot of respects. And that's just kind of fundamentally sound baseball. And I think he has a little bit different vibe to him. Bob Melvin is really good with a veteran club and a young club in like creating a good environment to work. But Mike Schilt is really good at drilling in those fundamental things. And I think that's something that Mike has done well. And just in talking to people, scouts over the course of the last 2 weeks about, which teams do the little things well, I don't think that many of them think the Padres are perfect in that regard, but they're significantly better than they were a year ago. And, things like that we take for granted, like throwing to the right base, taking the extra base, like these little things that happen that where 90 feet matters between, a run or making it out in a key spot or trying to keep a runner in the right position. And it's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it has been. And I think that's something that probably helps with why they have had a little bit more consistent success this year, despite the fact that probably not quite as talented a roster as a year ago because they don't have Juan Soto.
Mike, we'll see him tonight. I don't know if you heard of the guy, Shohei Ohtani. He's been playing pretty well.
I'm familiar with his work.
Yeah, he's been okay the last couple of weeks here.
Yeah, fine.
Heading into his first postseason, how much pressure does he have on him to perform? And if you're the opposing team, why even consider pitching to the guy?
Well, because the Dodgers lineup is loaded.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is if you don't pitch to Ohtani, then you're putting him on base and he's probably stealing second ahead of Betts and Freeman, right? Like you legitimately have 3 Hall of Famers at the top of the lineup. I think everything with Ohtani is a little different because he's such an international sensation and because there is pressure that comes with being the Japanese superstar. The amount of media that follows him around is a ton, although it seems like he is very, very good at compartmentalizing that. I think from hey, let's take all the ancillary and the distractions and all that, which obviously he's processed pretty well because, like his best friend stole however, tens of millions of dollars from him this year without him knowing it. And he's still put up this, 50-50 season. He's got a chance to go 55-55. I don't think the outside stuff's going to impact him. From a pressure on the field, it should help to have Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts behind him because those guys are stars. And neither of them had good division series last year. They really struggled against the Diamondbacks. I think Ohtani helps to take some of the pressure off them. I think the other thing that's happened with the Dodgers lineup, they have, Teoscar Hernandez is a little bit more of an aggressive hitter, but he provides power a little bit further down. Maybe he's not the best base runner. Maybe he's not the best defender, but he gives them a different look. Max Muncy being back has changed the Dodgers offense because that's a guy that never swings at pitches outside the strike zone. It seems like he grinds out at bats. He's allowed them to move Will Smith, who scuffled for part of the year, further down in the lineup. I think all the players around Ohtani help to take some of the pressure off of him because he doesn't have to be the guy. He's got a lot of guys that are going to have bronze plaques around him.
No doubt. I know this, that if Jim stole $10 million from me, there's no way I'm hitting 50 home runs. I might have stolen 50 bases this year, but there's no way I'm hitting 50 home runs. Mike, we love the insight. Hopefully we can do it in the postseason. Thanks as always for your time here in San Diego.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, enjoy the heck out of the week, guys.
We can't wait. We can't wait. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Mike Farron, MLB Network Radio. We're going to react to that on the other side. He said something there that stuck out that we'll share with you coming up next. Plus, Will Brinson, CBS Sports senior NFL writer at 4 p.m. It's Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it's Jon and Jim. We've been telling you about our friends over at Hamul Casino. It's the place to get to throughout this football season, including every single Monday night Here in September, we've told you about their chances to win big with Monday Night Live $100,000 Punch-Out.
Yeah, John, with 10 winners every hour at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m., your odds are better than ever. Plus, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting 2-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners and a chance to win up to $100,000.
You're going to absolutely love Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, which is perfect this time of year, final week of the baseball regular season, college and NFL football going on. And Tamul has endless dining 5 nights a week. Their endless dining options include Saturday surf and turf buffet. They've gone over the top with perfect combinations of succulent steaks, delectable seafood, and more.
Yeah, get to Hamul Casino all football season long, including every Monday night for Monday Night Live $100,000 Punch-Out. Hamul Casino, it's fun above all else.
Here's what Mike Ferris said that stuck out. And by the way, we'll run some Joe in 10 minutes. All right. This is what he said that stuck out. If he had to choose one of the 3 teams you asked about, Padres, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, he'd take the Padres. That sticks out. Yeah. When he mentioned the Dodgers have a historically good lineup, which, by the way, they do. But he said the Padres were well-rounded and playing great baseball, and if he had to take one of those 3 teams, again, I told you 40 minutes ago, don't worry about that in sense. Mike Ferris does only cover Major League Baseball. This is the only thing he covers, and he covers it on a national level, and he likes the way the Padres are playing right now, even over a quote-unquote historic lineup of LA.
I think when you take the bias out here, right, and you just look at the rosters, they have the most complete team on paper.
Probably most complete. The Dodgers have the better lineup.
They do. They have
the Padres have the better pitching staff,
which to me matters more.
Agreed, and the better rotation, which is the end-all be-all. Look at the 22 and 23 postseason. The reason the Dodgers didn't advance is because of their rotation.
Like who's this guy pitching tonight?
Josh Knapp or something. Andrew Knack.
Oh, Landon Knack. Landon Knack.
Like we said.
Exactly. I mean, come on. That's not even. I mean,
Landon the future face of the Dodgers.
Right. Yeah,
exactly.
It's not even comparable. I mean, if you're throwing Landon Knack out there in a postseason game against Dylan Cease, Joe Musgrove, Michael King, Yu Darvish, edge to the Padres. And yeah, I know that Ryan Flaherty's been really good for the Dodgers, but I mean, truthfully, is there anybody in the Dodgers rotation that you would take over right now than the Padres?
Well, that's an interesting question.
Like, would you take anybody from the Dodgers and replace them with, whatever?
Would you take anyone from the Dodgers and replace them with one of the big four in the Padres rotation?
Yeah, like who would you swap out?
No, probably not.
I wouldn't swap out anybody.
Not the way they pitched.
And that's a sentiment that I'd probably have for every team in the National League. Like the
I'm sure there's a starter in the National League I would take. I mean, the Phillies certainly have a starter.
I meant entire rotation.
Oh, entire rotation? Just swap them? That's fair. I mean, the Phillies have a good rotation.
Like, who has the best rotation going into the postseason? To me, it's the Padres.
Right. I think some people would tell you Philadelphia.
Some would say that, but I think the Padres' back end 3-4 starters are better than the Phillies' 3-4 starters.
Could be.
I mean, if you want to go Zach Wheeler as
Ranger Suarez,
but Michael King and like Yu Darvish as your 4, to me, is better than what the Phillies are throwing out there.
True. Although, again, in this wild card round,
anything's possible. I get it.
And the 4 is inconsequential.
And you're not going to face the Phillies in the wild card round.
True. Padres lineup is out. Dodgers lineup is out.
Let me guess. Hold on. Let me guess. I haven't seen it.
Padres
lineup?
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Luis Ariz.
Yep.
Is he your DH tonight?
DH, yeah.
Okay. Toddy.
Yep.
Profar.
Mm-hmm.
Manny.
Yep.
Merrill.
Yep.
Bogey.
Yep.
Solano.
Crony.
Yep. Solano. Higgy.
Yep. For Michael King, and then the Dodgers lineup is out, and it's a very deep
Ohtani,
lineup.
Betts, Freeman, Muncy, Hernandez, Lux.
Yeah, it's a legitimate lineup.
What's awesome though about this, John, is like I said at the top of the show, you got both teams throwing out their A teams tonight.
Yeah, lineup wise, yes,
and not pitching wise for the Dodgers, but still, the Dodgers are going to play tonight like it's a postseason game.
Oh, absolutely.
They're
it's
playing,
a huge game for them.
They are playing to win. This is not a tune-up game for them by any stretch.
Not
this
at all.
This is we're going out, we're going to put our best foot forward, A team to try to win tonight, to try to eliminate or make it harder for the Padres to come back in this division.
Yeah, I think they win tonight. And again, it doesn't end the division, but it makes it extremely unlikely. Padres could still win the last 2, move to within 2 games, but you still have to overcome 2 games in 3 days.
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy.
And they would need to lose 2 out of 3 to the Rockies.
Yeah, tonight's the game where it's like, if you really want to put pressure on, you win tonight. You don't win tonight, and everyone's going to say the Dodgers have won the division. I'll say tonight on the wrap-up show. If the Padres don't win tonight, I'm not going to start the wrap-up show being like, don't lose hope in the division. I'm going to say the division's over. Because that's how I'm going to feel.
Dude, I just got like a little chill because of
game,
how big tonight's game is. Name me the last regular season game that was as big as this one.
You're talking about the final days of the 2010 regular season.
Yeah.
That's the last time.
I don't want to say 2022.
They're 20 games out, right?
They were important, but they clinched with I think a couple games remaining. Maybe a week left.
No, they did. Plus the division had been decided in like 30 July.
Yeah, the division was over at that point in time. But
it's the biggest regular season games they've played since 2010. That's accurate.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of inconsequential baseball in there. They've had some decent years in there, but they haven't been playing for divisions at any point in the last 15 years.
Wow.
All right. Will Brinson's going to join us, our NFL insider and infighter.
Yes. Our infighters coming up next.
He joins us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. brought to you by Hamul Casino. Will Brinson, senior NFL writer for CBS Sports, will join us on the other side. In addition to that, we have a great giveaway for you in the 4 o'clock hour. We are giving away Green Day tickets with the Smashing Pumpkins. This is Saturday, like this Saturday. Petco Park, downtown San Diego. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. In addition to that, we have Rocktoberfest tickets to give away today. We also have Miramar Air Show tickets to give away today as well. Great show lined up. Marty Caswell's in LA. She'll join us in the 5 p.m. hour ahead of Game 1 tonight. Will Brinson is our NFL insider, brought to you by Humul Casino. He will join us next to kick off hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Hey guys, it's Jon and Jim again, and you know it's the best time of the year. NFL, college football, MLB postseason all going on at the same time. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. And with Underdog, you can win 325 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats.
Yeah, John, just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code Jon and Jim, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. John, the gimme pick this week is a Patrick Mahomes higher than a half total yard. I think he'll get that.
I have a really good feeling about him throwing for a yard this week.
Yeah.
Go to their mobile app or to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code JONANDJIM. That's Jon and Jim. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code JONANDJIM to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer.
Yeah, you must be 18 years or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, this update's brought to you by Lexus El Cajon. Bring luxury home. Padres, Dodgers, 3-game series starts tonight up at Chavez Ravine, 7:10 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres, Landon Knack on the mound for the Dodgers. The playoff scenarios are this. Padres win. They clinch a playoff spot tonight. They move to 2 games back of the Dodgers in the NL West. They can also clinch a playoff spot if the Mets and the D-backs both win today as well. Mets play the Braves. D-backs play the Giants. Experience true luxury from the newly remodeled Lexus El Cajon showroom. They'll get a great deal with autumn savings on any new or pre-owned Lexus in stock. See for yourself why they're ranked number 1 for customer service. Visit LexusElCajon.com. Bring luxury home from Lexus El Cajon.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. Of course, we're getting you ready for a big one tonight at Dodger Stadium. Padres-Dodgers game 1 of a series. The NL West still has not been decided. Marty Caswell will join us from up in L.A. coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. But each and every week, Will Brinson, CBS Sports senior NFL writer, is going to join us on Tuesdays at 4 p.m., brought to you by Humboldt Casino. So, Will, it's great to have you back with us here. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. I'm looking at the NFC right now, and I see the Niners stumbling and the injuries, and I just look at the conference. I'm like, it feels wide open. I know it's only 3 weeks, but how do you feel about the NFC in general right now through 3 weeks? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, of course. Always excited to join you all on a Tuesday. Here in North Carolina, it's a little probably a little darker in the sky than it is there. Maybe the rain and the sunset, but. The NFC, it's crazy, man, because, you look in the East and you had the Giants in a situation where Brian Daboll was sort of getting some heat for his job. Mike McCarthy's seat might as well be a fireplace at this point with the way that the Cowboys have played on defense the last 2 weeks. Eagles look pretty steady, right? And then the Commanders, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the season because they got their guy. The North is loaded, except the Bears aren't going to be as excitable as they thought they were. KOC, man, I tell you what, Kevin O'Connell is the truth. I think he's a top 5 coach in the NFL right now. Matt LaFleur is pretty close there too with the, coach of the year discussion, just what he's done with Malik Willis, with Jordan Love being hurt. The NFC South looks like it's going to be what it always is, like a mucky scrum of mediocrity, like you guys fighting through. 9-8's gonna squeeze its way there, and then the Seahawks, Mike McDonald. Toss him in the mix too for coach of the year. Going out there to Seattle, getting them off to that hot start. Their defense looks awesome, similar to how it looked, for him in Baltimore. Geno Smith playing some really good football. And then you just have all these injuries piling up for the Rams and the 49ers. I think it just makes the playoff race very muddled. If you ask me just in general, like how many good teams are in the NFL, I think you'd say Kansas City and Buffalo. You'd probably say Minnesota, probably say Seattle, maybe Philly. There's more of them, but it's really, really wide open early on in the season. And I think we've had 5+ 7-point underdogs win outright. It's been crazy this season.
And moving over to the AFC, you mentioned the Bills and the Chiefs. Bills last night just dismantled the Jags, and they look really good, Will. Is it like one of those years where it's like if the Bills don't get over the hump this year because of how they look so far, and it's early, obviously, but when are they going to do it? Like, does this feel kind of like the Bills making a push here of like, okay, enough's enough, we're going to get over that hump?
So the Bills are my preseason Super Bowl pick. Feel good about that, at least right now.
Yes.
But the caveat to that is there's a pretty good chance that they end up in a situation either hosting Kansas City or heading to Kansas City in the playoffs, and you just have to beat Patrick Mahomes. And that's, it's a little more difficult than like a 7-game NBA series. You don't want to make the full Pistons Bulls comparison or whatever it was in the 90s that you want to point to. But it's kind of similar. That you think, if you're Josh Allen, you feel like you might have won a Super Bowl if it weren't for the existence of Patrick Mahomes. It's like the whole, Chargers fans know about it. Everyone here in Raleigh was a diehard Chargers fan because of Phillip Rivers for a while. We understand the pain. It's just Tom Brady just hanging out and just ruining everybody's life. Yeah. And I think you've got that with Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs too. So yeah, the Bills, I do think you've got a little bit of the 2022 Chiefs factor going with them. You trade Stephon Diggs. Now you don't feel like you have to funnel targets and passes through him as much. You can sort of spread it around. Khalil Shakir looks awesome. Dalton Kincaid finally had like a good game. I think he's been flying under the radar, maybe a bit disappointing for expectations so far before last night. And then Sean McDermott's got that defense playing awesome. I think the Jaguars look like a joke, but the Bills, that's a statement win on Monday night at home against a would-be AFC contender. I think Buffalo is very, very much legit. Obviously, as long as Allen stays healthy, and then let's see what happens in the fourth quarter against Kansas City and the inevitable. It's like
right.
it's as inevitable as Thanos, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing because you mentioned the Chiefs. I mean, of course they're a contender. They're trying to do something no team's ever done, which is win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. But you look at the manner in which they've won these 3 weeks. Do you have any level of concern at all, or do we all understand that when it really matters is not right now, and they're getting by and winning games? So who really cares the manner in which they're winning?
Yeah, I don't sweat it too much. I think Andy Reid, and that's one of the luxuries. We saw this the Patriot comparisons are just easy, right? We saw the Patriots. Belichick talked about it for years. The season is, you divide the season into quarters when it was 16 games, and that first quarter you're sort of trying to figure out who your team is, and even into the second quarter you're trying to stack up wins and pile wins. And when you're a team that has won several titles and you have the greatest player in sports, and maybe the greatest player of all time on your roster, as the Patriots did with Brady and the Chiefs might with Mahomes right now, you have that luxury of sort of saying, all right, we don't have to come out like look at the Jaguars, 0-3 now. If Kansas City's 0-3, they're worried, but they can figure it out and turn it around. It doesn't feel like everything's lost and there's a squeeze on the coach. They have that luxury because they've won so much. And I think that they sort of do, we may see something more similar to what we saw last year where, all right, we're bringing Xavier Worthy into the fold. Rashee Rice playing fantastic football. Kelsey hadn't done a whole lot. Just trying to figure things out on offense. And that defense has just been able to hold them together for the last 2 years. I do think the offense looks further along than it did last year. So, yeah, I mean, Kansas City pole position to three-peat, and it's just, is somebody going to come along and knock them off in the playoffs?
What's going on in Cincinnati? I mean, it feels like it's panic time. 0-3, and I mean, Jaden Daniels is the next coming of whatever. But losing to the Patriots and then the Washington Commanders in the first 3 games, 0-3. That's not good.
Oh, it's real bad. And you have just Joe Burrow doesn't look right. His ball placement last night was just off. He's usually so pinpoint accurate. He had those 2 throws to Jamar for the scores and looked okay at times, but it's just this inconsistency. And I think you could make the case that a bigger problem could be that defense, because it's putting them in a hole where, Burrow just can't score enough points for them to win. They can't. Ramondre Stevenson, week 1, the Patriots were blocking them up front. Ramondre's running wild. I mean, Jaden Daniels had, a career, it would be like the Heisman game, whatever you want to call it, his breakout game in prime time, on the road to just ruin this team's season. They're a little fortunate in the fact that, Cleveland stinks, or at least Deshaun Watson stinks. We might get Jameis Winston soon.
Please.
The Ravens have had a slow start, and as Steelers fans in my mentions remind me, they're a better team than maybe some of us thought, but they're not pulling away and just putting the division on ice. So because they have Burrow, you don't want to rule them out, but the lack of work with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase this offseason because of the contracts, it just feels like bad juju. And if that defense can't stop anybody, you can't get any pressure against Washington's offensive line, they're in for a very long season.
Will Brinson with us right now. Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760, CBS Sports senior NFL writer. How concerned are you with not just the Niners being 1-2, but their injuries?
I think the injuries are the thing, right? That was sort of the preseason, off-season talking point. It's this roster is loaded. They can make another run to the Super Bowl. They can beat anybody in the NFL on any given Sunday, but they have to stay healthy. And I mean, Christian McCaffrey's in Germany, specialist about his
not good.
I mean, do we send him over there as a goodwill gesture because we're sending the Panthers and Giants to play in Germany? It's
right.
Sorry, Christian McCaffrey's USO tour. That's deeply concerning that he's out there. Just for the long-term or the short-term viability of him playing this season. Jordan Mason's been great, but he doesn't have that same, dynamic ability as a pass catcher. And then, with Deebo Samuel out for a little while, it just stresses that offense even more. I will say, I mean, look, Jon Jennings, $175 and 3 touchdowns was incredible on Sunday. They should have won that game, but you see, like, what Dre Greenlaw in the Super Bowl, right? He's hurt. Like just all these injuries pile up, and they can't slow down Matthew Stafford and Tutu Atwell. Like that's a big red flag. It's a team that you dominate, a team that they've just really worked over in the regular season. And so, yeah, I think the injuries are absolutely taking their toll. They've got to really just grind their way to some wins and hope they can get healthier by the end of the season. But that doesn't happen very often in football, right?
Yeah. It's. I'm a big Niners fan, Will, so I'm very worried about things. It just feels like the whole off season and then the Super Bowl hangover effects and then the injuries. It's
and Ayuk's been a little bit off. It feels like maybe the contract stuff got him to sort of a slow start. That's why they maybe focused on Juwan last week. I mean, that's a concern when you got the guy making that much and then Kittle's out, Debo's out, CMC's out. I mean, all of a sudden, it's that, like, this roster full of riches for Brock Purdy is a little thin.
Have you ever, moving gears here, have you ever heard a coach call out their players publicly post-game like Antonio Pierce did, saying business decisions and we'll settle that? I mean, that was pretty harsh.
Yeah, I mean, in his defense, they did give up the first 300-yard passing game and 3-touchdown game to Andy Dalton. And it's like the terrible Carolina Panthers. But yeah, I mean, like, that was a tough scene. I mean, when you say people made business decisions and we will have to make business decisions, it is telling about the roster. And I think, I mean, I like Antonio Pierce. I think he's a buyer. Like, I know Leisha Duzable, who I work with at CBS, has called him like the most cerebral teammate he ever had. I think he's a good coach. It's just that interim label when it gets applied to a full-time gig, and it's just tough to recreate the same results the following year because you don't have that, somebody got fired, jump in the middle of the season, and just sort of like take off swimming and be motivational. And we're talking about Gardner Minshew maybe being benched. It's getting a little late, a little early in Las Vegas.
Do you have any perspective, Will, final one for me, on why we haven't seen these prolific passing numbers or, passing touchdowns? And like, can we put it all in perspective? Like, one 300-yard, 3-touchdown performance this year. Well, like, what have we seen at the heyday of NFL offenses? I mean, we were seeing this each and every week with regularity. Now we're not seeing it all. Why?
I think it's a combination of things. Obviously, you have I think one thing that's talked about a lot is the shortened preseason, the shortened off season. That's caught up in terms of early season NFL offense over the last few years and just teams sort of struggling. I think offensive line play as a whole is down. And I mean, I don't want to say that as like somebody who could go out and block, Max Crosby or anything, but I mean, like the line play is down. And part of that stems from sort of a long tail effect of college offenses and how they play offense in college, how they're asked to block in college, all that stuff. And then I also think there's maybe sort of an underrated aspect here where we've had this changeover from, like, in terms of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL, right? So don't get me wrong, like Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes are awesome. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, but for a while we had this group of older guys there, like Brady and Manning, all these guys, Rodgers at his peak. And then underneath them was this subset of Mahomes and Allen. Mahomes jumped up, of course, but I think you've seen maybe the quarterback base is, or the quarterback depth is like deep. It's deeper, but it's not as top end talented. And if you get in a situation where, like a Burrow is banged up and has offensive line issues and his wide receivers are missing time, all of a sudden it has this sort of, I just think all those things are kind of compounding to create that. You could also argue that, with the sort of the proliferation of, more like nickel and dime, more dime defenses, right? More like these lighter defensive backs and linebackers, guys who are more hybrid, teams are kind of trending towards running the ball more. Or you have, drafts where what we have, I mean, May's the only one who's not starting, right? So we have 4 out of 5 rookie starters. Those coaches probably aren't going to be chunking the ball all over the place as frequently as you might, although obviously Jaden Daniels the exception last night.
Sam Darnold's plus 3,000 to win the NFL MVP. Good bet there or not?
30-1 right now.
Right now.
Like he's a former number 3 overall pick. He went to a team again. We talk about the sort of the factors that go into these quarterbacks being good. He gets drafted by the Jets. They didn't have a good ecosystem in place for him. He struggles mightily. Gets traded to Carolina. We know what a disaster they were. Goes to San Francisco for a year, gets to sort of take a breath, spend time with Kyle Shanahan, and then goes and is now with KOC, who has a great offensive game plan, some really good weapons. The offensive line's playing well for them, and I think the problem is that you just like Josh Allen having never won an MVP, I think is a problem because the 50 voters who vote for that very much would like to give it to him, and he's playing at a higher level than Darnold has in his bag right now. So it's a little thin from that perspective, but 30-1, I don't hate. You just, you're buying low versus like the 200-1 or 90-1 or whatever it was before the season.
Will, always appreciate it, man. We're looking forward to doing it each and every week right here on San Diego Sports 760, and we'll catch up again next Tuesday, all right?
All right, guys. Talk next week. See ya.
All right.
Thanks, Will.
Good stuff. Will Brinson, CBS Sports Senior NFL writer, brought to you by Humul Casino. 7 restaurants, thrilling games, and a sports pub voted San Diego's best. Humul Casino is fun above all else. Will Shohei Ohtani pitch in the postseason? The latest from Dave Roberts, plus the wrap coming up next. All right, it was great to catch up with Will Brinson, courtesy of Humul Casino. We can hear Cynthia Freeland every Friday as well, and get to Humul Casino this football season. Hey, guys, it's Jon and Jim. Especially every Monday in September, you've got a chance to win big with Monday Night Live $100,000 Punch-Out.
Yeah, with 10 winners every hour at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m., your odds are better than ever. Plus, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting 2-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners. And a chance to win up to $100,000 in cash.
You're going to love Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, especially this week and especially throughout NFL season. Great food and drinks. And Humul has endless dining 5 nights a week. Their endless dining options include Saturday Surf and Turf Buffet. They've gone over the top with perfect combinations of succulent steaks, delectable seafood, and more.
Yeah, get to Humul Casino all football season long, including every Monday night from Monday Night Live $100,000 Punch-Out. Humul Casino, it's fun above all else.
All right, friend of the show, Marty Caswell, in 10 minutes. Actually, 9 minutes. She's at Dodger Stadium. She'll put in perspective this final week of the regular season. It's like 5 years. What's on the line? And she'll be up there all week long, right? She covering these games?
I think I talked to her today. I don't know if she's going to be up there for all 3 games.
Oh,
so
just kidding.
So here's the thing. Until they clinch, she'll be there. I know that. I know that of Marty.
Okay.
Like when they,
but if they win tonight, she's not going to go back if they're 2 games out in the division.
But you can't. You're not going to celebrate it.
Or if they don't, is she just going to stay in LA forever?
Time out. Yeah, they are. I think if they win tonight, they're celebrating.
No, that's what I mean. They win tonight, they celebrate. Mm-hmm. But the next 2 nights, John, there's no opportunity to celebrate at all.
There's just an opportunity to get closer to the Dodgers.
Look, I know Marty. She'll most likely be there all 3 games, but until they clinch, she'll be there.
Do you think Marty packed her goggles?
All right.
Oh yeah.
By the way, update 5 p.m. Oh no.
What's going on?
5 minutes. Okay. Yeah. We'll call it 4:30,
Marty. Marty, we'll call you. All right.
Yeah, like she's doing something on TV right now. She's a big deal. Marty's kind of a
she's doing something on TV?
Well, yeah, must be nice. Must be very nice. We will get to the wrap later on here between now and 6 p.m. Why don't we do this? In the next 5 minutes, we're giving away tickets to the Miramar Air Show. So we'll do that coming up in about 5 minutes. Good to connect with Will Brinson. We'll have Marty Caswell join us in just a handful of minutes. We will get to the wrap coming up as well. What do you got, Brent?
Did you understand Will's Thanos reference, John?
Absolutely not.
No chance. Inevitable like Thanos, he went right over the head.
No, I have no idea. I mean, again, it's like some of that stuff, I have no idea. And by some of, I mean, I just, in one ear, out the other.
Well, it's nice that we're infusing guests in now that are more like on the wavelength of me and Brent.
Yeah.
So then we can make you feel like an idiot.
Correct.
It's a payback for all those bracketologists.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
And realignment experts.
Right.
Speaking of which,
we haven't even mentioned.
We are waiting for UNLV.
When we say we, it's you.
By the way, so the Pac-12 right now is at 7. The Utah State thing's official.
Yes.
They added Utah State. How do I know it? They are part of a lawsuit that the Pac-12 filed today against the Mountain West. So there's 7 schools in the Pac-12 right now. Utah State's one of them. They need 8. We've talked about this for weeks on end. I mean, what do you think you're thinking if you're UNLV? I mean, what real option do you have here? If you're being courted by the Pac-12, aren't you going to go? You can stick around? What are you going to stick around for? Money? That's the only reason?
Well, it's now gotten to a point like the Pac-12 and Mountain West are now brutal enemies. They are fighting.
Well, like court. I mean, it happens with conferences. I mean,
yeah, but they definitely aren't happy with each other.
No, this is part of the business of college sports. Mm-hmm. If you've seen, like, for example, the American, they started like 10 years ago. 7 of the 10 they started with are gone. So my point is it happens. Now, the Mountain West has been more stable.
What's the most likely scenario to happen in your opinion?
I would just think UNLV joins the Mountain West, or excuse me, the Pac-12. And then you have 8, and then you figure it out from there. Then you could slow play. Go to TV networks. You have 8 at least. If you add Gonzaga, tell me what the escalators are. Is it how much more money? If we add UConn and football, tell me what the escalators are. But get that 8th school, lock that down. If it's not UNLV, who is it? Is it a Texas school? Is it? I mean, UConn's a little crazy. Your 8th school's UConn and football only without UNLV. I'm just throwing ideas out there. There's options. Obviously.
So what does this lawsuit today entail?
I think what it ultimately represents, and Marty will join us in 5 minutes, is that the Pac-12 doesn't want to pay
the exit fees from
not
Mountain West teams?
Poaching fees.
Oh, the poaching fees.
Because when the Mountain West agreed to play the Pac-12 in the scheduling alliance, part of the deal was if any Mountain West school goes to the Pac-12 in the next couple of years, not only is there an exit fee, you Pac-12 will pay a poaching fee for taking them, and the Pac-12 is like, I don't know what the lawsuit alleges, but the Pac-12 is like, no, there's an exit fee. We're not also paying a poaching fee. So does it get settled? Does it go to court? It's nothing that's going to end up. It won't be settled, I wouldn't think, in the next day.
Now, let me ask you this real quick. Are they doing this so they can then turn around and potentially, because the offer they offered the AAC schools, Memphis, Tulane, USF, UTSA, was, I think, to pay $2.5 million of the $25 million exit fee.
Right.
If they were to happen to win this lawsuit, which I don't know if they will or not, but just theoretically say they win it.
Okay.
Well, now they don't have to pay that poaching fee. Could they help up their offer to the Memphises of the world and Tulanes as far as their exit fee goes?
Maybe. I
'Cause
think
you
it's
can
that
go-
you'd have more money. I guess.
Now, did they in the AAC when you, I guess, recommit to your conference? Does that can that be changed overnight? Like, is that anything that
There's nothing.
I know.
Nothing is official until it's some signed document. So yeah, I remember when the Pac-12 committed to each other.
Yeah, and then look what happened.
Yeah, and then look what happened.
Okay.
All right, Marty Caswell from Dodger Stadium will join us next. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to the Miramar Air Show. 877-767-4760. This is for 2 grandstand tickets, September 29th. Admission and parking free. Experience the Wall of Fire, the F-22 Raptor demo team, and the Blue Angels plus static displays featuring military and civilian aircraft. Preferred seating and show details at MiramarAirshow.com. Caller 3 are going. 877-767-4760. Marty joins us next.
All right, this update's brought to you by Lexus El Cajon. Bring luxury home. Padres, Dodgers tonight up at Dodger Stadium. 7:10 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres against Landon Knack for the Dodgers. Here's the scenarios for the Padres tonight. If they win, they clinch a playoff spot. They can also clinch a playoff spot if the Mets and D-backs also win today as well. Experience true luxury from the newly remodeled Lexus El Cajon showroom. You'll get a great deal with an autumn savings on any new or pre-owned Lexus in stock. See for yourself why they're ranked number one for customer service. Visit LexusElCajon.com. Bring luxury home from Lexus El Cajon.
All right, great to connect with you. It's been way too long, personally, for me to talk to Marty. So I just want to ask Marty how she's doing. Marty Caswell, San Diego Sports 760 at Dodger Stadium. Ahead of this huge regular season game specifically for the Padres and the Dodgers. But first of all, Marty, how are you? Thanks for hopping on.
I am good. I'm kind of in a bad mood because you guys know what it's like when you drive on the 5 freeway, then you go to the 110, and then you take Grand Avenue, and then you go up Vince Scully Avenue to get to Dodger Stadium, and then you deal with security, and they cut off all your tags, and you're so angry because you want to save those tags, and they give you that look as though you're bringing in contraband to Dodger Stadium. So I'm in a really, really grumpy mood, and the clubhouse is, oh my goodness, it is swarming with people. It is packed. There's like 3 players and 100,000 media people in the clubhouse. So that's how I am. How are you?
It's your worst nightmare.
Okay,
everything's great.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? I want to ask you this, Marty, because you can put in perspective because you're a lifelong Padres fan. In terms of like tonight, we'll see about this series. So biggest series since, but we'll see what the Padres do tonight. Just tonight's game specifically, like when was a bigger regular season game, or when was the last time they had a regular season game like this in your mind?
A regular season game versus the Dodgers, you're probably going to go back to Chris and Tony Gwynn era. The Chris Gwynn era, 1996. Like, that would be the one because that got them the division. And that was like the final game of the season where the Padres had to win all 3 games, and they did. And they won the NL West. So I know I'm going a long time, but when you're talking regular season, not playoffs, and I could be wrong. Maybe I missed something there, but I'm going to go 1996, the Chris Gwynn pinch hit double.
Been a while then. It's been a while.
Tony's brother. Yep.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
It's been a while. Have you talked to Dave Roberts, or did you go in the scrum of Dave Roberts 6? I know he just spoke.
No, I haven't gone there because the Padres open availability was just about now.
Got it.
And right now. So we spoke with Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis, and Jurickson Profar, who was just swarmed. So I missed the Dodgers one. I'm going to guess he talked about the Padres intensity, which is something that he mentioned in the LA Times to their beat reporters about how, like, what stood out from last year, the Padres, a couple of years ago, the Padres players just kind of wanted it more, and they have more of an intensity. The Dodgers, it's like every single year, right? They're expected to go ahead and win the playoffs, and the Padres might be like an afterthought. And I think this year they really were in improvement mode after you guys know after what happened last season. So I didn't hear what Dave Roberts had to say, but I know he's been very, very respectful. I don't think respectful is the right word that I'm looking for. Complimentary of just what the Padres have really shown.
Well,
from 2 years ago.
I just saw Alden Gonzalez post a tweet saying that Dave Roberts' quote said, "We're trying to put them to bed." In like, you need to win 2 or 3 to win the division here. Yeah. I was going to ask, like, from just like a Dodger standpoint, if you've talked to anybody, or is it the vibe you get from at Dodger Stadium? You know,
it's kind of, that's a funny thing to go ahead and say, because when you're trying to go ahead and put somebody to bed, if they were throwing out Tyler Glasnow, Flaherty, and that version of Clayton Kershaw, you might understand that. But you're throwing out Landon Knack. And then Flaherty's he's been good, and Lexus has not, man. He's been a big disappointment. Well, I mean, coming back from major surgery, so you understand that. But I just you want to say that if you're the manager, when you're speaking, you're not just speaking to the media. You're also speaking a message to your players too. And so, yeah, put them away. But I just don't know that anyone. I don't know that anyone is counting on the Dodgers. It's not the same Dodgers team, and it's not the same Padres team. I think that's the bigger deal. The Padres are different. I remember a couple of years ago, guys, when it would be Padres and Dodgers, and Manny Machado would get so annoyed when we would ask him about the questions. What's it going to take to go ahead and beat the Dodgers? What's it going to go ahead and take to match them and to knock them off? And Will Myers got tired of it too. But now no one asks those questions because the Padres have won the season series. They have the tiebreaker, and they just match up differently. It's important to remember, like, Jackson Merrill has never lost a series for the Dodgers in his career. Yes, he's a rookie, but he genuinely expects to be the team. He expects to be the team. That's how he's wired. And some of the from the team too.
Marty Caswell with us right now from Dodger Stadium. So, okay, the Padres are 40-16, which is ridiculous in their last 56 games. So it's been very good. So, in your opinion, do they need to win this division or not? Because regardless of whether they win the division, they're still playing as well as anyone in baseball, right?
No, they don't need to. I mean, they don't need to win it. They're in. They're right now. They're in great playoff positioning, and I know that really strange stat. And it's so funny that Jim mentioned the update about how the Padres can clinch if the D-backs and the Mets lose. We were literally talking about in the clubhouse with AJ Cassava and Bob Scanlon and the PR people, because trust me, I don't understand that math. I struggled helping my first grade nephew with his first grade math, so I don't understand how that works. But no, because even if they lose, they're still in good positioning for that first wild card. I think the most important thing is you want to host all 3 games. At the very least, get that top seed wild card. Host, as Christopher said, you want to host the 2 games. You don't want to host 3. Just go ahead and take care of business in 2 games. So as long as you get that, and you don't have to hopefully worry about playing 3 games in New York, then I think you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And Merrill said, "Listen, we don't care how we get in. We just want to get in because we feel like we can beat anybody."
And when you look at this weekend, we were talking about it, Marty, like there's a chance that, with the Mets as the 5 seed right now, if you beat the Mets D-backs and you could face the D-backs at home. And for me, the Mets are like one of the most scariest teams in baseball in the National League to face, especially in the first round. And like,
there's no way. There's no way.
I know.
You can't. That's insane.
No, I get it.
Mentality.
I get it,
You've
Marty.
pissed off Marty.
No, what I was going to ask is, like, who would you rather face in the first round?
On the road or at home?
At home.
Give me my options. D-backs to the Mets?
D-backs to the Mets.
I'll be D-backs again. I'm so sick of the D-backs. I'll go with Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, rather face.
As a
I'm
with you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, so you're there tonight, Marty. Oh, here's my question for you, Marty.
Yeah.
If they clinch, they celebrate regardless of how they clinch, correct?
Yes, 1,000%. I've clarified that 100 times. They would celebrate tonight, and they wouldn't celebrate again. I don't believe unless they won the National League West.
The division.
They're not going to celebrate later on in Arizona. Clinching the top wild card spot, but I believe they would a division, because that's always like the first goal. You want the division title. You want to buy the West card or T-shirt or hat rather than a wild card T-shirt. But if you're a Padres fan, you just want to go ahead and get in and.
So you're cool with it, right? Because you have like Marty rules, like you don't love combined no hitters. Are you cool with celebrating off a loss?
It's different. I've never seen that. It's a different. But yeah, when you're talking about the grind of a season like this,
yes,
you're gonna on a full season, not a 60-game season. You're gonna celebrate it.
Did you bring goggles? Like, what's going on here? You had to bring stuff, right?
I did not. I did know. I brought a plastic. Okay, I have 2 plastic bags. So I have a plastic bag from Vons, and I found a plastic bag from Disneyland. And so I'm going to wrap my camera in that should anything happen. And here's the great thing about being a Samsung Android user rather than iPhone. My Android is 100% waterproof. It can absorb up to 12 feet of water. So I feel pretty good about my phone. The most important thing is my equipment surviving. I don't care about my hair or my clothes. I don't matter, but I need my equipment to survive.
Marty, breaking news: iPhones are also waterproof.
Oh, they are?
Oh. Yeah, but you got to put them in like rice or something.
I know. I think they're
fine. But if someone submerges it 12 feet in a pot of beer, will it survive?
Good point.
My Android will.
All right, so Marty, for Padres fans, for our listeners, they can find all your stuff on YouTube, right? Marty Caswell TV.
Yes, you can find it. Marty Time TV. Marty Time, M-A-R-T-Y, not with an I, not with a D-I-E, M-A-R-T-Y, Marty Time TV. You can also find me, Marty Caswell 619, on Insta and on Threads. I need to get back on Threads. I'm going back on Threads tonight. That's my goal.
Marty, I haven't mentioned Threads in since you.
Exactly. Marty, travel safe. Enjoy tonight. Hopefully it's a celebration coming off a win, and thanks for hopping on.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Marty Caswell at Dodger Stadium. The same Marty
Yes.
The same Marty.
The same tornado.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed. All right, call right now if you want 2 free tickets to Green Day. Now, first 2 callers will be contestants for Trainwreck Radio. That's sports trivia. You need to call right now, 877-767-4760. Green Day with the Smashing Pumpkins Saturday night, this Saturday at Petco Park. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. Again, the number to call is 877-767-4760. You need to call right now, 877-767-4760. We'll give those tickets away coming up next. We'll get back to Padres Dodgers in the 5 o'clock hour, the wrap as well. This is Jon and Jim. 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas was amazing. A lot of people from iHeart San Diego. You know, the photos, videos, behind-the-scenes backstage content now at iHeartRadio.com/festival. Want to relive it, Jim? Streaming now only on Hulu. I've been thinking about it.
You haven't.
I have. Kristen's been trying to watch these shows on Hulu. So we've absolutely been thinking about it.
Did you forget about that already?
Yeah, we spent
We just talked
20
about this
minutes
like 2
on
days
that.
ago.
You know what I watched the other day?
Girl in the Picture?
I did,
It
yeah.
was interesting, right?
Crazy, dude.
Crazy.
She has like 5 different names.
Oh, don't be ruining this.
It came out in like 2022.
Exactly. It's still new.
New to me, new to you.
It didn't really come out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It just happened to become popular.
I don't think it became popular. I think you just watched it and then you told me
It
about
was top 10.
It was?
It was.
Huh.
Or we found it.
You probably found it.
A girl in the picture or the girl in the picture?
Girl in the picture or the girl in the
It
picture?
was just like again,
Like,
we've all watched
whoa!
true crime documentaries,
Yeah.
but this went like 10 degrees beyond what you'd ever expect in a true crime documentary.
Yeah. I mean, the father is a complete sicko, but
The whole thing was bizarre.
It's really bizarre because a lot of people are like, wait.
Have you been watching the Lyle and Eric Menendez story on Netflix?
No, I want to though.
Oh my God, Monsters?
No.
Do you know the case?
What?
The Menendez case where they
Menendez
killed
brothers.
their parents,
Yeah.
the two brothers in the Beverly Hills?
They
yes.
In, like,
They
the
parodied
90s.
that in The Cable Guy. That was,
Got
remember
it,
the fake
yeah.
trial of Ben Stiller and his twin brother? That was a Menendez brother spoof in Cable Guy.
Okay.
Case was massive.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
some clips. So
I mean, this is going back, 30 years?
The Jeffrey Dahmer monster was like really, really good.
Oh, how many shows can you name monsters? That's a good point.
Well, all of them, because they're all about serial killers and
Right.
mass
isn't
murderers.
it like
pretty
weird?
Much,
It's
so.
like, wow, that series was great, and the series has to do with like
Well,
mass
I always
murder.
say that to Kristen. She's like, man, that was just a phenomenal Dateline. I'm like, what do you mean phenomenal?
Like this person like put
Yeah,
these
lost
bodies
their
in
life.
acid and like
Yeah,
what's
it
going
wasn't
on here?
phenomenal to me.
But I think when we say phenomenal and how
Like,
good it is, how
It's
how
well
well
acted
produced
and
it is.
Interesting. It's well put together, like the documentary.
Everyone loves true crime. Everyone loves it.
Americans do.
But when you realize, oh, this is actually like
Real people.
fact, not fiction,
Yeah.
like whoa,
I know.
it's a little scary.
All right, we'll get to the wrap of the 5 o'clock hour. We'll hear from Brian Dutcher on conference expansion and realignment as well in the 5 o'clock hour. We're getting ready for Padres and Dodgers. And right now, let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Matt and we have Kevin. Matt, you called in first. We have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
John's fine.
That's
John's fine.
I like
Matt,
that.
Matt and John. Kevin, you get me, okay?
Heck yeah.
All right, Kevin, Jim,
John will suffice.
Matt, John. John's okay. Brent, what's the question of the day?
All right, guys. Jaden Daniels is now the new bandwagon frontrunner for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Today's question: name any of the last 8 NFL Offensive Rookies of the Year. So we're looking for anybody that's won the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
The last
in
8 years?
8 years.
Okay.
Not defensive rookie, because there's 2 different ones. So we just want offensive rookie of the year.
Okay.
Okay. Kevin, you're up first. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. They typically go to quarterbacks, right?
Kind of.
Houston, CJ Stroud.
CJ
Stroud.
Stroud.
Wow.
On the list. Nice pull.
Sweet. Oh, I
Matt-
almost had to do a lifeline first round.
I know. You didn't, so we're good. Matt, you're up next. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
First guess was going to be C.J. Stroud, and I was going to throw it out there real quick, and now I'm looking for number 2.
Yes, you are. What do you got?
Yeah, go ahead, do the lifeline while I think about some more.
Okay. I have no idea. I would assume, I don't even know the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year rules. I assume Patrick Mahomes wouldn't have been eligible.
Nope. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. Dang it. Sorry.
Okay, then I won't guess Patrick Mahomes.
Darn it.
I'll give you Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley. Do you take that, Matt?
No, I don't like that.
Neither do I.
You put the last 8 years.
Yeah.
You got 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good one, Mahomes.
You take Mahomes?
No Mahomes because his rookie year he only played he made a start.
Yeah. Kevin, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Trying to think. The 21
5 seconds.
Jamar Chase, maybe.
Jamar
on the
Chase.
Bengals.
Jamar Chase
Wow.
on the list. Good job on the list. Got it. Matt, back to you. You're going to need to get this one right to stay in the game. You don't have a lifeline, so it's all up to you.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's
staying it.
No,
it's over. Wow.
He missed his rookie season. It's over. Kevin wins.
Why don't you just rub it in? No, we got already missed his rookie season and he sucks.
Was Saquon on the list?
Yeah, he was on the
I was
list.
going to say, that was like a really good year, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
They're all pretty big names on the list.
Let me see if I can guess.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to say Justin Jefferson.
No.
Dang it.
Josh Allen?
No. There is a Justin on the list.
Oh, not Justin Fields.
No.
Yeah, Justin Fields, you idiot. No.
Justin.
Time.
He plays like 90 minutes up the road.
Oh, Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Like I said,
it's not even 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Get there in an hour.
If you drive like LT.
Okay,
well, it's like a San Diego suburb.
Okay, we'll start in 2016.
20 minutes away.
Dak Prescott won in 2016.
That guy.
Alvin Kamara.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Won. Saquon Barkley, which he didn't take.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Jamar Chase.
Oh yeah.
This is the only one that wasn't. Garrett Wilson for the Jets.
Oh, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, and then CJ Stroud.
Oh, CJ Stroud.
Seven out of the 8 were big names.
Oh yeah.
By the way, I had one, and he elected to go with
Patrick
Mahomes.
No, you're wrong, Mahomes.
All right, we're gonna get to the
Well,
wrap.
that was just funny because 5 seconds ago you're just like, oh, Mahomes isn't eligible.
I know. We'll get to the wrap on the other side. We'll give away tickets to Rocktoberfest in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll hear from Brian Dutcher on conference realignment, and we'll get you ready for Padres Dodgers. You could call it a big series coming up tonight, beginning with game 1 at Dodger Stadium at 7:10. This is Jon and Jim.
This is the All right, this update's brought to you by Toyota of Poway in the heart of San Diego. Padres, Dodgers. Not much else needs to be said. Start a 3-game series tonight at Dodger Stadium. 7:10 first pitch. Michael King on the mound for the Padres against Landon Knack for the Dodgers. If the Padres win tonight, they clinch a playoff spot. They can also clinch a playoff spot if the Mets and the D-backs both win today's games. Mets are playing the Braves. D-backs are playing the Giants. Score update in the Mets-Braves game right now, John. It is scoreless, top of the third inning in Atlanta. D-backs don't start their game until 6:40 tonight in Arizona. At Toyota of Poway, you might save a lot if you just drive a little. Over 200 new and pre-owned Toyotas in stock will get you the Toyota of your dreams with special finances and lease rates. There's never been a better time to get a new or certified pre-owned Toyota. Visit toyotaofpoway.com.
San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 3 of Jon and Jim. We'll get to the wrap in a moment. We'll hear from Brian Dutcher on conference realignment. Speaking of which, it used to be Woj Bombs. We have a Shams significant tweet related to the NBA and a former
working title.
A former San Diego State. Yeah, that is a working title. San Diego State star. Who would I be referring to? A former San Diego State basketball star. It would be Kawhi Leonard.
Hold on. So this is a Shams bomb.
No, significant tweet.
Oh, a sham significant tweet.
This is a sham significant tweet.
A sham shot.
This is what he just published a minute ago. Clippers star Kawhi Leonard underwent a procedure on his knee in the offseason.
Is this an article from last year?
No, this is today. This is 1 minute
or
ago.
the year before.
The franchise said today Leonard will be limited to strengthening his knee to start training camp, but team officials are optimistic about his progress. So a concern for the Clippers moving into a new building. Remember, he didn't play in the Olympics. He had a knee procedure, another one this offseason. And that's how the Clippers are going to start their 2024-25 in that brand new arena, the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. So if nothing else, a concerning development. Again, a veteran player who's had some amazing years, but has been hampered by injuries here over the last few years.
Yeah, but how does it affect LeBron and most importantly, Bronny's legacy?
Well, it could impact both of them, but it might not. It might not. Anyway, a Shams significant tweet. Padres Dodgers are 2 hours away. Now, Jim just said something to me off air because we're watching Mets and Braves.
Yeah.
And you said in the update, hey, if the Mets win and if the Diamondbacks
win.
Why is it if the Diamondbacks win, the Padres clinch?
I don't know. I'm literally reading what MLB Twitter.
Well, who are they?
The official account for Major League Baseball.
So if the Mets win and the Diamondbacks win, the Padres are in. But you just told me, you're like, should we really be rooting for the Mets? Because if they win, doesn't that make it more likely they'll face the Padres in the postseason?
I know why the Braves equation here, because that would also put them out of reach of the Braves.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense. Okay. So, but you're saying maybe don't root for the Mets because then the Mets are closer to playing the Padres in the postseason in the 4-5 matchup? Is that your theory, your working theory tonight?
That's what I'm going to go with. 1 week from now, I don't want to see the Mets here at Petco Park. So, yes, I think from that standpoint,
I'd rather see
the Braves win tonight and then the Mets, the D-backs to win tonight.
Right, and the Mets fall back. Because you're saying everyone agrees the Padres are in the postseason. Yeah, I mean, it's a formality.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about them getting into the postseason. They're going to be in the postseason.
Now, I'll say this. I know we're just completely counting out the Braves, but here's where the Braves do scare me if they happen to get in. I don't think they're getting the 5. I don't know about that. I mean, they're 2 games back of the 5. So
it's still possible, but unlikely.
The Braves scare me because they have Chris Sale. I don't want to see a Chris Sale game 1 here.
100%
at Petco Park.
Of course not.
Now, I don't think that's going to happen.
Neither do I.
And then the consolation to that would be seeing like a Sean Manaea or give me a top pitcher.
Right, the Mets rotation.
Yeah, the rotation. Severino.
Well, you're certainly going to take the Mets over Chris Sale.
Well, 100%.
But then again, the Mets have played the Padres well this year and have the revenge of 2022 factor as a possibility. Here's the thing. Whoever you play, you play. We keep saying the Padres are dangerous. Nobody wants to play them. Then why are we trying to put this thing together where they play the perfect opponent? Because nobody wants to play them is what we're saying. So why do they need to play the perfect opponent?
Well, pitching matchups do matter.
I agree, but you have told me repeatedly for weeks.
I know. Trust me. I know. But there's a monkey wrench that gets thrown into that if you happen to face Chris Sale at game 1 here at Petco Park.
Okay. But we are also saying there's a monkey wrench if you play the New York Mets, because the Mets have won 2 series this year against the Padres.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, they scare me the most, but I still would take the Padres in that series.
Would you not take the Padres in a series against the Braves at home?
I would still take the Padres in the series. I would take the Padres in any series at home in the wild card round.
Okay.
I'm just like, of the 3 teams, all right, I'm blanking on the D-backs starter right now. Who is their ace? I'm
ace,
blanking
of course,
so
is,
hard.
Zach Gallen.
Zach Gallen.
Or Brandon Pfaadt.
Brandon Pfaadt. I'll just go Zach Gallen, Sean Manaea, Chris Sale. Who would you not want to face of those 3? Chris Sale.
Sean Manaea.
Well, Sean Manaea's pitched really well for the Mets.
Yes.
But, for me, it's an easy choice.
Of course.
Now, Sean Manaea has pitched very well. He's a lefty, but so just like, okay, do you want the Mets to just put the Braves out of their misery in this series or what? Now Fried and Sale are pitching the next 2 days for Atlanta. So that's tough.
I don't even know. Here's what I want to see happen. The Padres beat the Dodgers.
Exactly. I want that to happen and they clinch. That's it.
That's all I want to see.
That's all I want.
The other things are all in the periphery.
But John, once they do clinch, and once they do hopefully inevitably clinch the 4 seed, we will have to be talking about matchups and scenarios.
No, I will not do it.
I don't want to talk about it at all.
No, of course you will. But here's what I'm going to be talking about more tomorrow if they win tonight? The division.
Yes, I know.
So I'll put off the matchup until the matchup presents itself. Because if they do win the next 3 days, the matchup I'm thinking about is San Diego against Air. Because that's their first round opponent.
Yeah, that's a good
as long as they breathe, they move on.
Air's pretty tough sometimes.
True, if you don't have it.
Air can be tough.
All right, can we get to we've kind of put this off for an hour, and we need to get a couple of questions in here, but let's get to it.
That's convenient because that's all we have.
It's time for the wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Do you guys believe A's owner John Fisher when he says he did his very best to keep the team in Oakland?
Guy's a complete fraud. He's a joke. If you read this statement, it literally looks like ChatGPT wrote it for him. It is the most heartless, soulless farewell letter that you'll ever see from any owner in any sport. I mean, if you didn't already hate John Fisher enough, read this letter that he wrote, or ChatGPT wrote for him, or somebody wrote for him, and you're just like, this guy's a heartless POS.
No, I take him at his word. When he says he did his very best, I'm going to take him at his word. He said he tried hard to keep the A's in Oakland. How could I doubt a man that owns one of just 30 major league franchises? Have you seen the Coliseum, Jim?
Dude,
I'm kidding.
I know you are.
It's a debacle. Now, they're going to have some large crowds tonight,
I hope so.
Wednesday, and they are. They're going to have large crowds tonight through Thursday. It's going to be a fascinating thing to watch play out. It really will be. They're in Sacramento next year, on their way eventually for Las Vegas. The whole thing is bizarre, and it's not a good situation for Major League Baseball. The way that played out in Oakland is not – it's a black eye, not just for John Fisher, but for Major League Baseball.
It just made me think of, like, that part in Animal House in movies when someone says something and then someone in the crowd will be like, bull.
Yep.
And they'll just like, it's like, yeah, that's all I kept thinking of the whole time when I was reading that. It's like, yeah, bull.
Real quick, have you seen, John? Because I know you're a hat guy. You're a big hat guy. Have you seen the new A's hat?
Let me see it. I'll tell you if I've seen it.
Well, you haven't. Because
No,
if
I'm
I said
serious.
that,
No, I haven't seen that. What is this?
so
it says Adam Scott Suarez.
yeah, it says ass. So I'm showing it right now.
Is that real?
That's a real hat, dude. That is a real hat. It says A's, but then right behind it is another A's, and it spells ass.
That's a good summary of the last decade.
That is a real hat.
That's amazing. Let me see it one more time. But that's not an on field. It's not on field.
No,
right?
it's a men's Oakland Athletics New Era Green Team Shadow snapback hat. And
Okay.
and
Is it on sale?
it says it's almost gone.
Because it's ridiculous.
And I feel so bad because A's fans just don't deserve the crap that people talk about them. Because
Agreed.
Like,
but it's like, here's the thing. We can't do anything about it.
no, I know. All you can do is bitch and complain.
That's it. We've told
Yeah.
you. We've known they're going to leave for, is it 3 years? It's either the second season that's split out or
It's been a
something.
long time.
So it does suck. It sucked when the Chargers left. This whole thing isn't ideal.
John
But
Fisher is.
But it's one
oof.
thing. It's one thing that's not gone away in professional sports. Franchises leave for greener pastures.
because of money.
No doubt. No doubt. Next question.
If the Padres win out, would you consider this the best regular season in franchise history?
No, because they'll have won 96 games and the 98 team won 98. I will consider this to be the second best regular season team in franchise history if they win out.
So sheerly based on total wins.
Yeah, I think, I remember in 2020 when
37 and 23.
they made the postseason. Don Orsillo said something after they clinched, like talking about like this is the best team in Padres franchise history, or could this be the best team in Padres franchise history?
Right. We're like,
And I was like, well, Don, calm down. 98 team won 98 games. This team won 37. Like, stop. But if you get to 96 wins here, if you complete the dream scenario and sweep the 6-game roadie here and win the NL West, it has to be considered the second best regular season team in franchise history.
I would say this, and this isn't necessarily fair. We know how 98 finishes. They make a World Series. Okay. That alone is a very significant accomplishment in the history of the franchise. They've done it twice. If I had the benefit of seeing how it ends, if this team wins a World Series, I'll say, yes, the best regular season in franchise history. And the reason I would say it is you close 10-0 to win the division, which then sets you up to skip around to put you in a position to win a World Series. If you win 10 straight to win the division for the first time in forever, it takes nothing away from 98. But this has been a unique challenge. The way they've done this from 50 and 50 to maybe 96 wins, which again is a stretch. But if they win out, I think you could at least make an argument that this is as well as they've played in a regular season. You can make of course, 98 is more than 97. Get it. But
Get to the World Series, and then we're talking. And we're like legitimately saying, yeah, this team's the best team in franchise history. Get to a World Series, hell, win the damn thing. Then it's absolutely unequivocally
it's just the best
season, best team in franchise history. No questions even asked.
Our buddy Will Holder had a really good tweet yesterday. I need to find it, which is taking me back 100 tweets. Will, what are you doing?
Will,
okay, this is too many tweets for me.
I want to know. Do you just sit there and just tweet?
Well, the answer is yes. We do the same thing.
Yeah,
we just don't
do
tweet
it.
as much.
We do it.
But the reason I was looking for it,
Everything's gonna be okay. Will, I get it.
He said our power ranking's still a thing. I mean, isn't that what the playoffs are for? Which is such a good point. Or standings is what he said. But anyway, the point was, I think the Padres have skyrocketed up in the quote unquote power rankings. But who cares?
Who cares?
Like they are. No, they haven't. By the way,
they're seventh.
How are the Padres seventh? How I'm so mad after. How are the Padres behind the Milwaukee Brewers right now?
John, you just said power rankings don't matter. Now
I'm so mad. This is ridiculous. All right, we're talking about this on the other
That's
side.
before he looked at it.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
All right, coming up next, Marty Caswell in the clubhouse. Brent, I just send you the sound. We're going to hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill. On the other side, we'll hear from Tatis and Merrill getting set for as big of a regular season series as the Padres have played in a long time. We'll hear from Brian Dutcher coming up as well on conference realignment. Jim's back page still ahead. It's Jon and Jim. after on the road to take on Central Michigan at Mount Pleasant. Pregame with Fletch and Jared Culver starts at 10:30 a.m. Let's have to kick off at 12:30 right here. I'm your home of the Aztec San Diego Sports 760. You'll hear from Sean Lewis on his coach show Friday night at 6 p.m. Used to be a Thursday night football Cowboys.
Score update, John.
Oh, great.
Mets, Braves.
We don't even know who we're rooting for.
Well, it still matters.
Okay.
Braves lead the Mets 3-0, top 4.
Braves lead the Mets. So wait, what were we saying? Clinches a postseason spot.
Mets win over the Braves and a D-backs win over the Giants.
So now they need a win. Because if that score holds, they can't clinch tonight with a loss.
No. Oh, yeah.
If that score holds, they can't clinch tonight.
No.
Oh,
listen,
my God.
Here's the scenarios, all right? Easiest scenario. You win, you're in.
I know that. I said if that score holds, they can't clinch tonight without a win.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So if they lose and the Braves win,
then we know if the Braves win that game, which will end before the Padres game, right? What inning are they in?
They're in the 4th.
It'll end because it's an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So it'll end. If that score holds, we know, and I have no problem with this. I want to see the Padres win. But there is no getting into the postseason tonight if the Padres do not win.
Correct. I think.
Well, that's what you've been telling us all day long. Because you told us we need the Mets win and the Diamondbacks win. None of it makes any sense. But that's what you've been saying in your updates for hours.
Hold on.
No, don't hold on.
No. Let me just read you again exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
Verbatim what MLB on Twitter said.
Is it the real MLB on Twitter?
Yes, the gold little check mark and everything. It's
with 2 B's.
Yeah. The Padres can clinch a postseason berth today with a win versus the Dodgers, or a win by Arizona versus SF, and a win by the Mets over Atlanta. Okay, you're right.
Well, great. Now the Mets are losing.
Yeah,
just go win tonight.
Just win the freaking game tonight.
Go win the game.
Just win the game.
Go win the game. Can we hear from Tatis and Merrill?
Just win the game.
So Marty's in the club. I don't know how long this is. Do you? 5 minutes. All right,
we're not gonna.
All right, we're not gonna play the whole thing.
We haven't listened to it. She just sent it to us.
Yeah. Have you heard it, Brett?
No.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Let's see. I don't know who this starts with.
Other side. Let's play on the other
Merrill,
side.
I think.
Let's do it on the other side.
Okay, we'll do it on the other side. Do you have the Dutcher sound?
Yes.
All right, then let's hear. This is interesting because for a brief moment yesterday, we thought the Pac-12 was going to expand to be like national, right? Tulane, Memphis.
Gonzaga, Memphis, Tulane.
Well, not Gonzaga, but Memphis, Tulane.
Well, we thought Gonzaga.
I know, but that doesn't
like
make it national.
10 seconds.
But I'm saying that's regional.
Okay.
Anyway, my point is we thought for a brief moment the league was going to be national.
Yeah.
Interestingly, before any of this went down, Brian Dutcher yesterday in the morning spoke with the media. And would Dutch like conferences to stay regional? Listen to this.
Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I feel that way. Yeah, I'd like to stay regionally. I think a long time ago they should have just let football go do football and everybody else stay regional. And I still believe that. I think there'll be some sanity at some point down the road where these old Pac-12 schools that left will find out it's easier to stay regional. And so I think the model, the model is the model now, and it'll be this way for a couple of years. But I think sanity will rein us all back in, and it only makes sense to play regional for all the sports, maybe with the exception of football.
Do you think realignment will ever settle down?
I hope so. I think it will. I think the next big thing to me would be that football just goes on its own. And it's a giant football conglomerate with whoever they want. And then the rest of us will settle back in and play regionally. I think that's the smartest thing for all of us. Now, when that happens and if it happens remains to be seen. But I think that's just the smartest thing for all the other sports with the travel that we're all involved in, whether it's men's basketball or women's basketball or baseball or volleyball, whatever the sports are. I think it makes more sense to play regionally if you want a college experience and a college education that means something that you can get to class and you don't have to fly across the country. But hopefully that will come somewhere down the road.
Well, it might be playing out right in front of us because 7 schools have committed. They're all, what do they call it? Like continuous states. The states touch each other, Jim.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all 48 of the states of the big 50, there's only 50.
Right.
48 of them are attached to each other.
And 2 of them aren't.
Which 2 are those?
Alaska and Hawaii.
Could you drive to Alaska?
Yes.
That's correct. Could you drive to Hawaii?
No.
That's also correct. But my point is, these states in this league right now all touch. It's not like you're flying over the country. Obviously, you could drive to Connecticut, but you got to fly there. Well, you got to fly to these states too. My point is, right now, this league is regional.
Short travel times.
Yeah, this is relatively regional. Fresno, San Diego State, Oregon.
You're taking buses to Fresno. You're taking right?
Are you? No, I think you're flying. Point is, I mean, at the end of the day, what thoughts on that? It might be a regional league. You get UNLV, you got 8 schools. They're all close enough to each other. Longest flight's a couple hours.
Look, if you get UNLV in here, then you got 8 with Utah State. It's basically the best of the Mountain West with Washington State and Oregon State. Cut out the fat. Hopefully you can add Gonzaga, right? Or maybe Gonzaga and Grand Canyon or whatever. Just from that, like cutting out the fat of the Mountain West Conference, it makes travel so much easier. And the hardest part about the Mountain West Conference is the travel. Going to Wyoming, going to where else? Give me another school that's travel, John.
That's right now in the league?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, you said Wyoming, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Well, it's not that far.
No, I mean, again, Colorado State's a little bit of a trip.
Yeah.
And they're in this new league, but I still would call that regional. It's the Rockies.
Yeah.
I think the Rockies and West is regional.
Okay.
I think you get to like the Mississippi and East and it becomes national. By the way, real quick here, and then we can hear from Tatis and Merrill on the other side. And I read this earlier, but I didn't read the details. John Canzano, he reported today that days before the Mountain West lost 4 schools to the Pac-12, Mountain West leaders discussed trying to divide the Pac-12 and take Washington State and not Oregon State into the league. Days before the 4 went to the Pac-12, the Mountain West tried to take Washington State away from Oregon State.
Oh,
kind of weird.
Gloves are off.
Gloves are off. Completely off.
We're fighting.
All right, let's hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill coming up. It's Jon and Jim.
This update's brought to you by Toyota Poway in the heart of San Diego. Padres Dodgers 7:10 first pitch, game 1 of a crucial 3-game series as the Padres are 3 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Michael King on the mound for the Padres tonight. Score update in baseball: Braves lead the Mets 3-0, bottom 4. D-backs and Giants get underway later tonight. 6:40 first pitch in the desert. Scenarios are this: Padres win, they are in the postseason. If they don't win tonight, they'll need the Mets and the D-backs both to win their games for the Padres to clinch. At Toyota Poway, you might save a lot if you just drive a little. Over 200 new and pre-owned Toyotas in stock will get you the Toyota of your dreams with special finance and lease rates. There's never been a better time to get a new or certified pre-owned Toyota. Visit ToyotaPoway.com.
Hit us up on the Talkback March. Just open the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 76. We've got that little microphone icon next to the play button to leave a 30-second talkback.
Is there a date on that?
Give me this.
It's fine. You got them all, Doc. It's not right order. I don't know what today is. That's something I expect out of Jim. I don't know what today is.
Keep up with San Diego Sports 760 anytime, anywhere. Whether you're stepping out of the car or settling in at home. Just ask your Google or Lexus. Stay connected with your favorite shows like this one. San Diego Sports 760. There you go.
Well, we'll fix it.
Merrill first?
It's Action Jackson first.
All right, so Action Jackson, Fernando Tatis Jr., Padres Dodgers 90 minutes out. Not a must win, but a must win if you want to win the division.
Dude, I'm very excited.
I'm amped.
I'm anxious.
Are you anxious? I'm not anxious. I feel good about where they are. I feel good about tonight.
I'm like anxious. Like
You're ready.
I want the game to start.
Yeah,
now.
I'm ready for the game.
Like I'm ready to get home, get on my couch, ready
to
go.
Eat? Maybe eat some food.
Yeah,
maybe use that $2,500 laptop. Just type on.
Yeah, I wouldn't even put the game on the TV. I'd watch it on your laptop.
By the way, real quick. So I go to the Apple store today, and I bring my old laptop in.
How many times am I going to hear this story today? Okay, what happened?
I haven't said it on the radio yet. People were asking in the chat. They're like, "What's going on with Jim's laptop?"
Okay, yeah.
I bring in my old laptop because I had a appointment at the Genius Bar because I wanted to see what was wrong with it. I wanted to see if I can get it fixed. I go in. The guy looks at it. I tell him what happened. He goes, "Oh yeah, nothing's wrong with this." I turn it on. It's charging again. The ports work. The computer works. Everything's fine. He goes, "Yeah, sometimes it just overheats. And you have to like restart the computer."
Tim, let me say this finally because I say this before. The guy's a flat out liar, and your computer's from 2016, and it will suck again within the next 3 weeks. There will be a massive issue with his computer. Quote me on it. Within the next 4 weeks, it'll be game 4 of the World Series. You're like, oh, my computer's fine. Your computer's from 2016, and for weeks on end has been like basically blowing up. So your computer isn't quote unquote fine.
So what I've done now is I've kept my $2,500 MacBook Pro that I bought for no freaking reason.
To buy that.
Stupid.
You didn't need a $2,500.
Why did I buy
Why did you
a $3,000 MacBook Pro when I don't need it?
So what was Erin's reaction when you told her about your purchase?
So at first she goes, "Why did you spend that much money?" And then she goes, "Oh, that's a really nice computer." She didn't get mad. She just was like, she kind of looked at me and goes, why did you get that?
Like she wasn't like, you paid all that money for that?
No. What she said, I mean, this thing is beautiful. I mean, this thing is
Maseratis are beautiful.
Amazing.
That's next.
So basically what I'm doing is I'm just borrowing the new MacBook Pro to use for the next couple days, and then I'll decide what I do after that.
This is the easiest thing. I'd return that, get a cheaper new laptop, keep your 2016 as a backup.
But now I've gotten texts from people saying like, "Hey Jim, you can go on Amazon and find almost the exact same computer for like $1,400."
The one you have right now?
Yeah, this one.
Why is it $1,400 on Amazon?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure it's the exact same.
It's gonna come in like
it's called like apple
Temu
with
box.
3 P's.
Yeah, they send me like bags of apples.
Exactly. Let's hear who do we hear from first, Tatis?
Merrill.
No, Merrill.
Let's hear from Jackson Merrill. Lord.
Everybody's playing to win for a team goal. Everybody has fun with each other. There's no one playing for himself.
If you were to say, who's the spark plug? Who would be the one who sets the tone of this team on the field and here in the club?
There's no specific person. It's all around. There's energy everywhere, transferred through everybody. It's not one person. It's never been one person with us.
Jackson, how fun is it to have this type of intensity coming down in the final week of the season?
Yeah, it's fun, but it's just baseball. Like I always say, it's a game. Play the game the same way this week as you did every other day during the season.
How much confidence do you guys have right now? You've been playing some great baseball. Come down to this final stretch.
Yeah, we're keeping our heads level. We've got the same amount of confidence as before. We're sure to play baseball and have a good time. And whatever happens, the other day happens.
Looking forward to some good energy here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, of course. It's always a blast, but like I said, keep it the same way, keep the same game.
Jackson, this team has had some good success against the Dodgers so far this year. You've had some nice moments against this team. What do you feel like you guys in particular have done well against this group?
I don't really think we've done anything different. I think everything's been the same way. It's just at the end of the day, the outcome is more towards us. So, we just play the same version of baseball we want to play good baseball, clean baseball, and that's what happens.
Does it matter to you how you guys get into the playoffs, wild card division, or anything else?
No, we don't care. I mean, obviously everybody wants to win their division, but, if we're in, we got a shot at it. So, we just want a shot. That's all we want.
This was your first chance to go through a season-long series with the Dodgers. Probably had heard about it, but how is it different now that you've experienced it?
Yeah, I kind of just treat it the same as the minors. You face organizations, you face them a couple times during the year, but, just like the White Sox, they're a good team. They're a baseball team. They're here to play baseball just like us. So it doesn't really matter if it's the Dodgers, the Giants, or what season series happen. We're here to play baseball.
Why have you guys had as much success this year? Anything in particular in your mind? 7-3 so far in these games.
No, I mean, we don't even think about the record we have against these guys. Like I said, it's another day. It's another day to come have fun, enjoy the moment.
And what's their part to do, and I feel everybody just checking in at the right time.
I know some of the guys have said that you and that Luis is the spark plug of this team, but from your standpoint, who would that be? Who would you see as the spark plug?
Oh man, that's everybody. Everybody in that lineup in this clubhouse. I bring so many different energy. Everybody's pushing for each other, and everybody on the field is just a different character, and we just feed from each other, and we're definitely having fun.
And how exciting is it to have this type of important baseball come down the stretch here?
It's amazing, playing these games. Just everybody paying attention. Everybody knows how important they are. So everybody just rises to the occasion and trying to be in their best game.
And how confident are you guys coming down here in the final week as good baseball as you're playing right now?
We're definitely confident, but at the end of the day, everybody knows how hard this game is. So we're gonna take our chances every day. We're gonna take care of the day, and then we pay attention to the other things when it's time. But we're definitely taking care of business a day at a time.
Fernando, obviously this is a big series here. You've had a lot of big moments in this ballpark against this team. From that perspective, being here right now, what's your anticipation for this series?
Just big energy all the way around. Everybody knows how good a team we're facing. So, but everybody knows how good we are. So, we're just gonna play really good IQ baseball out there.
Why have you guys played so well and had so much success against the Dodgers this season? That wasn't always the case in the history of the series, but this year you guys certainly flipped the script.
Just the team that we have, the confidence, the confidence that this group has shown since day one. And I feel like that really matters a lot. So, but at the end of the day, we just has played better the last few games. But we're going to see what unfolds now.
How long was yesterday as an off day? I'm anticipating guys coming up here starting this series.
It was a calm day before the storm. But it was really good and much needed, especially late September. But the boys are fresh, and we're just going to bring some good game of baseball here.
How much do you enjoy playing at Dodger Stadium? And what about this atmosphere seems to bring out some of your best highlight moments?
Just the competition itself. I truly embrace competition, and that's a really competitive group. out there, and they have shown it for the last I don't know how many years, but they're just good, and everybody just you just want to rise to the occasion, and you just play even better baseball.
All right, they're ready. They're ready. They're ready.
Jackson Merrill
They're
is
ready. He is locked in.
He
dude.
is locked in.
He ain't saying nothing he's not supposed to say.
He has learned from some of the best in that clubhouse
On how not to say
how
anything.
to say nothing.
He said absolutely nothing for 3 minutes.
He's just stone cold killer.
And Toddy is Toddy.
Yes.
are you going to get a lot out of him?
No.
Are you going to get some really deep statement? Probably not.
This, truthfully, it's a big series for this team, but
Jim fact.
It's always bigger for the fans than it is for the team sometimes.
But not now.
I know not now, but it's not like if they lose tonight, they're. It's a big series, but Jackson Merrill said, "I don't care how we do." Now, I think you would, if you asked them to take some truth serum, they'd be like,
I think they want to win.
We want to sweep these NFers.
What's the score? What's their score up here? What are we rooting for?
I don't really know anymore.
But the Braves are now 4-0. Okay, but if the Braves win, the Padres only pass the postseason side is a win. And I saw in the chat here, someone saying if the Braves
Mets, the Padres. Well, that only would happen if the Padres lose to the Dodgers
each of the next 3 days.
And if the Padres win 2 of 3, and the Mets take 3 of 3 from the Braves here, or from the Mets, then they would still be 3 up on the Braves with 3 to play.
Call right now if you want tickets to Rocktoberfest. And this is at the brand new Front Wave Arena in Oceanside, which looks spectacular, by the way. And Rocktoberfest is coming up. What's the date on this? October 12th? Yeah, Saturday, October 12th. This is Seether, who Brent was telling me is basically parts of Stone Temple Pilots.
That's the wrong group. I got him wrong.
Oh, my God. So Seether, Giovanni, and the Hired Guns, The Warning, and
really
Tim Montana.
This.
Saturday, October 12th. I want to see the brand new Front Wave Arena. And I want to see Rocktoberfest.
You would know the one Seether song.
Tickets on sale now starting at $39. Go to AXS.com. Why does down below? AXS.com has tickets. What's this mean down below? Iron Maiden 10-4-24.
That we have Iron Maiden tickets for 10-24.
That's just it? That's the read?
That was the information that I was given.
Where's the concerts?
It's at North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. I had to look it up on Google, but that's all we know.
First caller to 877-767-4760 is going to Rocktoberfest. Jim's back page next. All right, well, if you want to see the Padres clinch, they're going to need to win tonight because Atlanta is all over the Mets. They lead 5-0 to the 6th inning in Atlanta. So, barring a Mets 5-run rally tonight on the road, the Padres need to win to punch their ticket to the 2024 postseason. That's the preferred route, by the way. I want to win.
Yeah,
to get in.
I want at the end of the game,
the Padres have more runs,
more points than the Dodgers. Yeah. And I want either Robert Suarez or Tanner Scott out there. And I want the final out to happen. And I want everybody to celebrate in the middle of the field of Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
And I want them to pop bottles in that small, tiny, gross clubhouse. And I want them to celebrate all night long.
No, I don't, because I want them to win tomorrow too. I want just 20-minute celebration.
I want like a
one beer each, guys.
45-minute celebration. Yeah.
Just one beer. Don't stay out all night.
Yeah.
30 minutes. And let's go win game 2.
That goes for you too, Marty.
Who gets the drunkest?
Peralta.
Ooh, that's a great call. That is a great call.
Solano.
Yeah, Peralta's up there.
Nicky?
Nicky's like, we did it!
Yeah.
We're
His
in!
first game.
He hasn't had one at bat this team. We're in the postseason!
Yeah.
Is Kim with the team? Because Kim can get pretty lit.
I think he's probably with the team.
I like David Peralta. David
You
Peralta.
like that call, right?
I like that call. I love that call. My second is, I think Jackson Merrill can get a little wild. Like they might be like, oh, rookie, let's get you really drunk.
Right. All right, let's get to it. Hold on.
All right, with Halloween right around the corner, John, a lot of places are coming out with Halloween type of deals and promotions and items at their fast food places. Sonic is coming out with a brand new Witch's Brew slush float. Green apple slush, salted caramel bubbles topped with creamy soft serve and more caramel bubbles included. You can order it on the Sonic app. It's available starting on September 30th.
So it's a slushy with ice cream in it?
It's a green apple slush loaded with salted caramel bubbles, topped with a creamy soft serve and more caramel bubbles. It's like a caramel covered apple, but better. Available only in a medium size.
Not up my alley necessarily.
They kind of contradict themselves. If it's better, then why can't I get it in a size bigger than a medium?
I don't know, Brent. I don't know. Moving on, Olive Garden, John. We love Olive Garden here.
I love Olive Garden.
Love Olive Garden. They're coming out with 2 new dessert items on the menu. One's technically an item that they're bringing back, but for fall, they're putting these items on their menu. The pumpkin cookie butter cheesecake, limited time only.
Ooh.
The layers of pumpkin and classic cheesecake with a cookie butter swirl and graham cracker cookie crust topped with a caramel drizzle and whipped cream. And finally, the chocolate lasagna.
They brought that back?
They brought it back. Decadent layers of chocolate cake, creamy chocolate mousse, and a delicate layer of crushed wafers topped with a chocolate sauce.
That sounds good.
You like that?
Yeah, I do. What else you got?
So at an auction recently, when was this? This was tonight, actually. This happened just moments ago. So there is a big auction going on for Fanatics in New York. And one of the items is a Tom Brady signed playoff card from 2000. It's on auction. It is graded at a 10. So it's signed by Tom Brady. It's graded at a Beckett 10. It sold for $120,000 to none other than Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots
for $120,000
as he's sitting next to Tom Brady at the auction. So he buys this Tom Brady card at an auction, sitting next to Tom Brady.
$120,000.
$120,000.
Well, he's got money.
Well, yeah, I think he's a little
right.
money.
He's got money.
He's got a couple bucks.
Yeah, he does.
And finally, the triple auto redemption card, the Olympic one with the LeBron, KD, and Steph. I've been talking about this, where it's a 1-of-1 card. It's signed by all three. You had to like apply for the top card, and it's like raffle. So you like chosen, you get this top box, and you don't know if it's in there, but you open it up, and you're gonna get a good card.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's claimed it yet, or at least claimed it publicly, and Topps doesn't even know where it is. Like they don't even know where it's at.
What do you mean they don't know where it's at? They don't know who's in possession of it?
Topps says that the redemption triple auto card has been mailed out, but the company doesn't know the winner's identity. So if
How did they mail it?
I probably go, I don't know, Brent. I have no idea. It says as of Monday, the triple autograph card, which has been subject of captivating high roller bounties, it's an hour record for the Topps card if it's unpacked, says that they don't know who the winner is. And they don't know where the card is either.
Well, that's kind of weird. So what happens next?
I don't know. Knows? It says it's possible that the card has been pulled and the owner is working out the next steps before claiming the card or selling the redemption card. But as of right now, no winner has come forward.
Sorry, I'm trying to do two things.
And one of them is not listen to you.
That's correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
I got a text related to everything's fine. Okay. Yeah. For a moment, Chris is like, let's send some group chat. You have Jones, not me. I thought maybe he's been found. He's in our neighbor's house. What's that mean? Like a ear tag? Yes, child. Your computer, dude. He's going to be carrying that $2,500 laptop everywhere he goes. He'd be like, dude, this is nice. Dude, that's going to be 2 seconds. All right. Join us tonight. Wrap-up show. Whatever happens, join us tonight on YouTube for wrap-up show. Padres back tomorrow. Getting ready